got to archive this shit.
We do now.
Oh, you do now. All right. So, without further ado, man, fuck, I can't wait to say this. This is so awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, live in studio, chaoticradio.com, the Dayglo Abortions.
Cheers, guys.
We should have like a clap track or something.
Yeah, get a clap track or one of those.
We probably fucking do somewhere.
I'm sure audience, you know, or something like that. They go, "Oh my goodness," you know, the whole crowd goes, "Oh."
Yeah. It's just us. All right. Yeah, there we are. You can see the cameras. You guys want to wave to everybody?
Well, you see, we got Team Blind and.
So we have a phone call already for you.
Wow, that was fast.
So unmute your phone. I'll put them straight through to you.
All right. Go ahead.
chaoticradio.com. What's up?
I was trying to listen into the dayglo abortions.
Yeah, you're live on air with them right now. They're sitting here in studio. What's your name, brother?
I'm Scott.
How you doing, Scott?
Hey, Scott, how's it going, man?
What's happening?
We're just loitering around Southern California, you know, trying not to get kicked out of the country.
Awesome. You guys roll, man.
You have a question for him?
No, I was just trying to listen in live, trying to figure it out while I was cooking some crock pot.
We've got a free downloadable app if it'll help you guys for your phone. Just go to it's the app's for Chaotic Radio. It's spelled with a K, K-A-O-T-I-C. Chaoticradio.com. You can listen to it live there, and we are now streaming on YouTube as well. So if you go, how do they find us on YouTube, Dutchie?
Chaotic Radio Live.
Chaotic Radio Live on YouTube, and then you can always watch the podcast later. It'll be on the air.
Oh, thanks a lot, guys.
Cool. You got to say anything else to the band?
Nah, just keep rocking. Love you guys.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
All right. Hey, wait. By the way, where are you calling from?
Calling from La Habra, California.
Awesome. Well, cool, man. Do me a favor too. Check out the Black Lung Show on Facebook. Give us a like and check it out. We got a lot of fucking great bands in here. We got some great bands coming up. Italian and Saints are going to be in here in studio. I think DRI is going to be in here in studio next month. So a lot of good stuff coming up. And thanks for calling and thanks for listening, brother. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
All right, cool. All right.
We will. Thanks a lot, man.
All right. So, I was saying, Dutchie, is that... Well, let me say this. Let's start by do the introductions. Start on my left. Why don't you tell the listening audience who you are and what you play in the band?
Hey, my name is Murray Acton, also known as the Cretin from the Dayglo Abortions, you know, and I play guitar, I sing, I write the songs. I'm an ass. I'm the public nuisance that everybody wants to get rid of, you know. It's mad. I'm like the semi-visionary part of Team Blind and Blinder. This guy's the blind guy right here, and I'm the blindish one, you know.
Yeah, whenever Murray loses his glasses, we're pretty much fucked.
Yeah, pretty fairly much. Yeah. Mark's not a lot of help in these situations. Blind Mark, also known as Blark. Yeah. Fucking, he's the least handicapped guy in the band, probably. I think.
Yeah, I'm the drummer.
And so, I mean,
at least that's what he thinks. He's a drummer. Yeah.
Tell me I'm playing the drums. I don't fucking know.
He's not really. I mean, you can't really tell him being blind and all. You know what I mean? But
yeah, you can be playing the fucking saxophone for all.
But I tell you, he gets us on airplanes and a lot of airlines half prices, so that's pretty sick.
That must be awesome. Yeah. You get good parking everywhere too, right?
Oh shit, yeah, it gets us out of trouble all the time too. Cops pull you over. We just put the blind guy out front, and the cops say, "Oh my God, we can't be arresting this poor bastard." I'm quite amazed he can even drive. For Christ's sake, they're going.
I think you're the first guy that I've had in. I know you're the first guy in studio that's actually been in a band that's blind. That's fucking rad that you can actually play. I mean, because it's music, you hear it, right? I mean, I'm about to just put my fucking foot in my mouth and just say something really stupid.
Go for it. That's awesome. Man.
All right. That's how this show is going to go, man.
He's fucking blind, not stupid, for Christ's sake. I mean,
no, I've been saying I'm stupid because it's fucking obvious he's blind, but
yeah, no,
how do I
is the light switch around here somewhere?
Yeah, how do I yeah.
Hey, baby, what's happening? Yeah, I know.
No, I think that's amazing, man, and that's actually fucking pretty inspirational, you know. I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. I mean, honest, and I feel really bad about this. Friday night, Friday the 13th was my wedding anniversary.
Oh yeah. So,
And I came out to your show, but fucking guys, it was running so late. I have 3 foster kids.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had to get home a little early.
That's okay. I understand that stuff.
But as we were talking before the show, I mean, I know you guys just got
I
your
understand it.
you guys just got your work visas, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's cool. So you guys are you guys will be planning to come back and tour some more, right?
Oh, you guys are gonna be sick of us in 6 months.
Fuck no, we're not.
we got the work visas are good until this time next year.
Okay.
And it's a major hassle getting this shit. You have to get them done. God, what is it? 3 months in advance.
Yeah,
pretty well. You got to have contracts and everything set up.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah, they don't make it easy for you unless you're like AC/DC or some big band, and they probably don't even give a shit.
Yeah, but it's but once we got them, it's a breeze coming in. They're nice. They look at the paperwork, and once they realize that we've got all of the proper bribes paid and everything, it was straight in. And so we plan on working this. Our buddy Ron Martinez has been booking this, and he's helped streamline the whole process. And he's helping us out big time. Ron's a solid guy, and
for sure.
And he's gonna put us to work, And we're just like, we told him, look, dude, 10 minutes notice, we'll be there. We'll fucking get on a plane and fly wherever the hell you want and play the shows and shit like this. So.
Man, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and you're talking about Ron from Crawl Space Booking, and also
Final Conflict, Lower Class Brats.
Both of them played last night. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Los Lobos. I finally hit the big time, baby. We hit Sunset Strip last night, Mark. Too bad that hooker we picked up turned out to be a dude. I mean, but, I mean, half price in the 3-for-1. That's what I figured.
We had Ron in studio here with the Lower Class Brats. Here's one of the albums I bought from him. I support the scene, and that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing this show.
I've never seen their vinyl before.
I think check it out, man. It's the
orange cover. That's
it's got I think it's the greatest hits one.
It's the greatest fucking hits record.
Well, I mean,
I know.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean for punk rock. It's the collection, I guess.
Yeah.
So Ron's got you guys playing all over the place. I was saying I had to cut out a little early from the show when Starving Wolves were playing. I know you guys are just. I've been looking at the flyers, and you guys have just been playing fucking killer shows. I mean, all the bands, the actual bands that you're playing with are also amazing. I know.
Awesome. There's been some awesome bands on this show.
Decry,
Yeah, Decry. Holy shit. And last night was pretty damn good too. I mean, the other night we played a couple of shows with Jesse from Days and Days. His band, they're called Escape the Zoo. Just an awesome. They're like the crusty bluegrass sort of street punk stuff that's going on.
Okay.
Goes grind metal, eh? So they've got this acoustic thing with this sort of underground support from distorted guitars and everything coming up underneath. Really fucking wicked original band, and awesome musician, good people.
Yeah, we played with them in Seattle and Portland.
Yeah, they were Seattle and Portland and
Eugene,
Eugene, wasn't it? I thought they were Eugene too.
Oh yeah, I think maybe
I think it was 3. Who knows? It was last week. But the bands are top notch every time, man. And Starving Wolves are some pretty energetic young guys from Austin there, and they've got they've got this overflowing indignant politics of youth thing going on and stuff like that. They're out there it was great the other night. They go, yeah, I just want to tell everybody that the whole reason for this band's existence is because of Donald Trump. We hate that motherfucker, and they're out there singing all this shit. And I get up there and it's my turn up and I go, it's really warm in my heart to see Donald Trump actually doing some good in the world, in the inspirational force behind all these young punk bands like this. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't his original intention or anything like this, but even the shitty bands are writing good songs now, thanks to Donald Trump. It's like, that guy is fucking gold for punk rock. I'll say that.
We are gonna. I don't usually talk about Donald Trump because I can't stand that motherfucker.
Oh, it's tough. Everybody's got an opinion about shit and everything. I guess he's another narcissistic fucking psychopath. I mean, it's like, wow.
No, but when you bring it up, it's funny because I was saying the same thing when he got elected. I was like, well, fuck. We're not only are we fucked as a country, but at least all the bands have fucking plenty to write about now.
Oh, that's good. Well, I mean, you guys weren't given.
Material.
It was like they were picking the fucking leaders for the punk rock bands or some shit like that. Your choices were. I mean, once they railroaded Sanders out of there.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we got this beautiful choice between an organ harvesting monster and a traitorous monster or a fucking narcissistic sociopathic real estate agent, for fuck's sake. I mean, great that he wasn't a politician, but Just a little advice. Maybe set the bar a little higher. Try engineers, doctors, or something. Real estate agents and lawyers and shit. Bad news, eh?
Yeah, it's like the episode of South Park came true. The one
fuck, it was so good. Oh, I mean, that was
the
so
turd
funny
sandwich
too.
and the douchebag. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what.
Yeah, and
those
they're
were
like,
the
we
choices.
got beaten to death in Canada by, like, it started a year before the goddamn election. We got the whole of the preliminaries and all of this shit. I mean, they'd interrupt the hockey game and put fucking goddamn more of the election shit on it.
Our election was.
God, it was non-fucking stop.
I was okay because look, I've got a bunch of questions in my head, and this show's and I apologize, listening audience. I'm just gonna have a lot of fun today, so we're gonna be all over the place. But I did want to ask you about that because you're the first Canadian band I've had on my show, and I wanted to talk about. Is Canada laughing at us? Are you guys just like looking at us going, "What the fuck is wrong with America?"
It's like when a good friend of yours does something that totally humiliates themselves. You can't help but chuckle a little bit or anything like that. But you sort of feel bad for them at the same time. But with fucking America, you kind of feel bad for the whole goddamn world, for fuck's sake.
That's true.
It's like,
yeah,
it's like, holy shit. The rest of the whole world is just, we're standing there with our fucking jaws hanging open, just going, what in the fuck is going on there? It's like, I mean, Christ almighty. It really, it's, the funny thing is there's corporations and all of the lobby money that goes into manipulating the political system. These people have spent a lot of money doing a lot of research and really, not only gauging what the political or what the public fucking opinion is about various things and what the public actually wants, but controlling the direction of their desires and things. They're giving America exactly what they want, and they wanted WWF wrestling style sensationalistic weirdness where you pick a puppet leader who comes out and is, I bet you Obama was a super rad guy. I saw him interviewed a lot. Seemed like a really nice, enlightened, funny dude and everything. Why was he fucking continuing right on after George Bush then? Right. Did you see a single thing change? No, they changed. They're going, I know, after Bush, it's been really hard. They're pretty well ready to have another revolution here. I goes, I know what? Let's give them a fucking black Democrat. That'll just fucking shut them right up for a minute. And everybody was like, oh my God, we're saved. And it's just like nothing changed.
No, it never does. And the strange thing, I think, is the media is having a profound effect on our culture. Dude, we were in California right now. We had fucking the Terminator as our governor.
I know, I have Schwarzenegger, yeah.
Can you believe that shit? And now you're talking about, WWE, the Rock, that pro wrestler.
Is he getting into politics?
Yeah, he's going to run for president, dude.
Well, maybe Jesse Ventura will come back and pound the shit out of the guy. Jesse Ventura
that'd be a good debate.
All
right.
The Rock versus Ventura, that'd be awesome.
All right.
Up with a pile driver or some shit like that.
All right. I want to start it.
Let's get back to this Rock versus Ventura shit.
I met Jesse Ventura. He's a real cool cat.
He did some pretty neat shit there, I thought myself.
Yeah, I as far as politics go, I like a lot of the shit that he says. You know what I mean?
He does, and he sort of pointed out some of the obvious craziness that's going on. It's going, you think that it's two parties. It's not two parties. God, it's one huge giant machine is what it is, and it's not even American. It's like this multinational bunch of banks and weapons contractors and all of the various fucking powers, the food companies, they're all working the same goddamn thing, manipulating every goddamn government within their reach.
Yeah.
And shit. Conspiracy theories are one thing, but you look at the reality of the situation, and it's more or less exactly what it is. Fuck, they might not be aliens, they might not be the reptilian shape-shifting monsters or whatever. Maybe that's a bit of a leap, but the majority of the shit's fucking right in front of your face. You can't even deny it. It's
absolutely.
It's just bizarre,
So you guys are listening to the Political Hour here on the Black Monk Show with the dayglo abortions.
Next we have a religious discussion.
Yes, that's gonna be next.
If you feel like you're being left out of this thing, that your specific special interest group is not being covered here accurately, just let us know and we'll make sure we kick the shit out of you next time we get back.
All right. So, God damn.
You gotta just like.
I know. I gotta
spread it out evenly.
I'm trying. Yeah, exactly. So tell me this. I'm fascinated with band names, and that's one of the very first questions I ask everybody. how did you come up with the name of the Dayglo Abortions? Where did that come from?
It's actually a pretty good one. I had a band before the Dayglos in the late 70s. They're a punk band. We called the Sick Fucks. And
The Sick
we had a
Fucks?
chick singer. Yeah, we were horrible. Their singer was like nails on a chalkboard, out of tune, singing everything else. But we were kids. We were doing what we were doing. We played a show at this legendary old Vancouver punk bar, the Smiling Buddha, back in the 70s. There was like a worst time. Dead Boys played in there. All kinds of people played in that place. And
Awesome.
the guy, Stiff Baders and the Dead Boys played in this fucking stage and shit like that. But we played there, and the payment was free publicity for a year, they said, for playing this show. It was kind of a battle of the bands. At the end of the night, the guy comes up to me and he goes, "Okay, kid, here's your free publicity," and he hands me a case of spray paint. He goes, "Knock yourselves out there, you know." And I got this box of Dayglo brand fluorescent orange spray paint that this guy's giving me. So I'm like, okay, it's cool. Let's go draw all over his fucking car or something like that to start with. But anyways, that band breaks up, and I decided I had a gig, and I wrote some really sort of, I don't know what you'd call off-color songs or something like this, but the Dayglo's there, and I decided I was going to get my buddies together. We're starting a band. I told Bonehead, the old drummer, I go, "We're fucking starting a band. We're going to be the Dayglo, whatever the most frequently used word on the front page of the paper is." So we go, that's the deal. So here we go. We're going to brace ourselves. We go find a newspaper, and it was the day that Henry Morgenthaler's abortion clinic got raided in fucking Montreal. And the front page of the paper is just, "Abortion clinic raided, abortions, abortion, abortion," all over the front page of the paper. And I'm just going, that is so awesome. We could have been a car accident or an armed robbery or some shit like this, but abortions. I mean, this is fantastic. Thank you, universe, for this blessed gift. Because it's got some beautiful things about it. We're punkers, and I was pretty street level, but I don't want anything to do with corporations or the straight music world or any of this shit.
Right.
That pretty well guarantees I'm never going to have anything to do with the straight world or people are going, "Geez, we got this new product we'd like to market here. Let's maybe get the Dayglo Abortions to be our fucking mascots." It's like, you don't sell a lot of shit with abortions in your name and stuff like that, especially in the States. It's like, they have a hard time with that stuff.
I think that might be the best fucking band story of coming up with a name I think I've ever fucking heard.
But I like it when people go, like in a university radio station, the guy goes like, "Really, I have to ask you, what does it mean?" And I look at the guy and go, like, "You're a fucking university student, aren't you? Nouns don't have a meaning, dude." Frankly speaking, whatever. I mean, Jesus. Which is, I mean, people are always going, they're trying to put a meaning in it. It's a noun. Really doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It just sounds funny. That's all.
Well, see, that's the thing. I love band names, right? And I'll tell you a quick one with mine. The band I'm in right now is called Something Ferocious. I've been in a bunch of punk bands. One I'm in is the reason why we came up with Something Ferocious because it's a pain in the ass coming up with names. And so the guys and me were just like talking around, and I think our drummer said, I think I told the drummer, I was like, the names has got to be something ferocious, and he was like, "That's it." And we're
ferocious.
We're done.
That's a good one.
Ferocious.
That's a good one. I mean,
There you go.
You want band names? We come up with band names. We sit around all day long trying to come up with the stupidest. Who can come up with the stupidest band name?
Yes, dude.
There's
Oh,
some
my
awesome
God.
ones. I mean,
I love
Mark's,
it.
my favorite one of Mark's is the Little Green Mennonites.
Yeah, Little
Isn't
Green
that awesome?
Mennonites, yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do this segment right now because I do this with my friends who say,
I got them for any genre of music.
I got some too. I'm doing a fake tribute band with my friends, and we're gonna call the band Electric Demon Pussy.
Yeah.
That's this one, and then
those are pretty straight up. I like weird ones. Like goes and went. Oh yeah, I wanted to get a white funk band called Booger Sugar.
Right.
Just like wrecking dance floors everywhere you go. Undanceable disco music by white guys just like all quirking their way through their shit. Or Plop Splash. I thought that was a pretty good one too.
Plop Splash. All
That's
right.
like a punk band or something like that. Like there's Fleas and Lice, Plop Splash, Flush or something. I don't know.
Tell me if this is stupid or not, because it is dumb. I wanted just to trick audience, so like they would let their kids go see it. I wanted to start a death metal band called the Happy Happy Unicorns.
That's fucking stupid as shit, man. I can't believe you even come up with something.
Well, there's a band up in Vancouver called the The fucking unicorns.
Fucking unicorns.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So,
Well, no, the whole point was that. So
I
that
know. I
they
see
let-
what you're talking about.
yeah. But I had this whole because I started acting
Death
it
metal
out.
for kids. Why don't you call yourself Himsa?
Well,
oh,
no,
that one's already used.
No, it wasn't for kids. It was just so the kids could go to the show and they're like, "Hey, mom, I'm gonna go see."
Oh,
It.
I see. I see.
And then they get on
Welch Road, I think I'm sorry.
yeah, get on stage and you're like, "Hi, we're the Happy Unicorn. Prepare to die, motherfuckers!" And then it was just like the meanest band you ever heard.
Unicorns.
Yeah. All right, that's-
Satan.
So speaking of that, so look, this is the goddamn truth. When I was a teenager, I listened to this album. Where the fuck did it go? Nonstop. Feed Us a Fetus by the Dayglo Abortions. This was, dude. I bought this from you guys again on Friday the 13th because I wore my tape out. I had this on a cassette.
Oh, yeah.
And this album is just so fucking good. I want to play a song. You got the YouTube up? All right. Dutchie. God damn it. We're gonna play two real quick because it's a punk show. Dude, you guys influenced me so much. Dude, my band, we styled ourselves after you guys. A lot of our influence we came from you guys, man. Seriously.
I tell you guys a massive compliment, because you get good at something after a while. It doesn't. I mean, fuck, I've been playing guitar and we've been playing fucking punk rock for so long. It's ingrained in every cell in our body, kind of shit. And music is an important thing and stuff like that. And
Right.
when you inspire other people to play music, it's such an incredibly empowering thing to do yourself. Your self-esteem, every time you hear your fucking songs, you just go, oh my God, you love your own music. You know what I mean? When you hear it recorded back, you just fucking, even if it sucks, you just love the shit when you hear it back. That is an incredible gift to fucking be able to give to people and shit like that. And I see so many people who've, they've taken music into their lives and it's fucking completely changed their lives. It's taken them from a lot of the people that get into music tend to be driven to the fringes. They're not exactly 100%. It's not the cool people that get in bands and shit like that. The cool people are too busy trying to look cool and shit like that.
Yeah.
It really is. That's one of the best things about playing music is giving that gift to somebody else, And you just see as they learn things like teaching kids to play is so awesome, Because you can see as they learn, they're just going, oh my God, this is so fantastic, because it starts to light fire, and I'm going, yeah, it feels pretty good to turn kids onto drugs and stuff like that, watch their lives spiral downwards, but actually doing something constructive in the world does actually have a little bit of a thing too, and I think it's important. I really think and punk bands are really good at that. They all are real happy to share their shit. They'll let the kids up on stage. It's not an exclusive scene. That's what I love. That's why I became a punk.
Me too.
Because it would accept us for all of our weirdness and difficulties and everything. I see that kind of almost. The punk world is getting very conformist.
Oh, it
which
is.
is not a very accepting sort of thing.
That's right.
It
is.
frightens me. I see things going in the wrong direction.
I want to talk to you about that, but let me just say this, brother. Seriously, this is. God, I'm having so much fun. This is when we started our first punk band. We were called Societies Unwanted, and we were and what we did was like my buddy Tim. By the way, can you say hi to Tim for me? He fucking
Tim.
loves it.
Hey,
Tim's up in
Tim?
Northern California.
Cheers, Tim.
I hope you're safe from those fucking crazy ass fires.
Oh, yeah, we trust you.
He's so excited that you guys are going to be on my show, and I texted him. He was we would listen to this album nonstop, and what we did, we'd come up to each other and be like, "Hey, dude, have you heard of Rudimentary Peni?" And we would share records, and and that's what we do. And so that's what I'm doing now for anybody that's listening. All this stuff. I'm living my childhood again. I'm bringing bands that I listen to. I try to help support other bands, and I want you to hear really good music. And Dutchie, Dutchie, he's got his own punk show here too, dude. Man, listen to this fucking music, man. Please play. This is one of my the first track off this album. It's still one of my favorites. I sing it along to it all the time. This is Stupid Songs. You're listening to the Black Lung Show on chaoticradio.com. Here are the motherfucking Dayglo Abortions. That's not it.
That's a good song.
Well, play that anyway.
Chaotic Radio, because the rest is just a waste of time.
Dayglo again. This is another one of my favorite songs. Best lyrics ever written. Dutchie. All right. I love seeing your face, man. You bring it down, bring it down. Let's get this thing, man. That's Die, Sin or Die. That's the next track. It kind of bleeds into it. That wasn't Stupid Song, that was Stupid World, but still, it's still off the one of the greatest punk albums of all time. I see Dutchie back there laughing his ass off, and that's exactly why I knew you wanted to be here in studio when I brought this band in. Dude, this band wrote a song. And that's when we heard that, we're like, fuck, you wrote a whole song and said blah, blah. And I can sing it. Well, how the fuck can you not? But we were like, dude, we can do that. And so that's how you inspired us. And we didn't know how to play our instruments. We were fucking on drugs. We were just like, fuck yeah, let's be like the Dayglo Abortions. Not the drug part, but.
When was that done? What year are we talking about?
86?
Oh, no, well, it was actually, that was, Art Fuck Kill. Was Art Fuck Kill Out of the Womb? I can't remember.
No, it's on.
Oh, it is on Fetus. Okay, so that would have been. It would have been like 84 that was recorded, I think. The second side, the first side of Fetus was actually, our first release was Out of the Womb, and it was recorded in like 1981, like just in the right at the beginning of 81 there. We started in 80. We did Out of the Womb, and then we got, and in 82, we got linked up. We did a tour down in California here with Angry Samoans and shit like that. It was just got us down in this neighborhood, and we ran into the dude from Toxic Shock Records. And that's why the first release of Fetus actually came out on Toxic Shock in 84 or something like that. I can't remember when it was. I don't know when it actually came out. I mean, it was because Guano was recorded. No, Fetus came out in 84. That was the year my son was born. I sort of go on these various landmarks and shit like that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And it was recorded. Art Fuck Kill would have been recorded probably in 1984, I guess. I'm thinking. I don't. It's like, that was a long time ago, and between then and then, you know, I've not exactly been 100%, you know, on the ball. You see, you know, I mean, I don't know how to put it without encouraging other people to follow through the path that I've done. Don't follow me. I don't even care where I'm going, sort of shit.
But see, that's exactly what inspired me. Was that's the thing too. So in the 80s, I was going to heavy metal concerts, right?
Yeah.
And there was always I know for everyone who's listening to the Black Lung Show, for my regular listeners, you know, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but this is exactly the conversation I love having. There was always this divide between the band. They were rock stars. There was the big security guys. You couldn't get anywhere on stage. First show, I go see the Dickies, and, you know, I'm on stage fucking singing them. I'm fucking diving off, and, you know, and then afterwards you're having a beer with them. You know, you're just like, hey,
that's the best part of punk rock.
Exactly. I mean, and I know Dutch, you feel the same way, right?
Oh, my God. You have no idea. I'm not going to say his name on the air, but I'm going out for a beer with, we'll talk afterwards, with the bass player from one of the biggest punk bands of all time.
You can say it, man.
No, he doesn't want me to.
He doesn't want you to?
He's one of he's a very fucking guy. You know, he's like, fuck, I don't want people to know my shit. But it's a band that came on the show. And it's funny because I played in a punk band, excuse me, back in the UK, starting in 79. And our guitarist, this band was his fucking favorite band and has been for 40 fucking years. And all of a sudden now, from doing this show, I've ended up as friends with him. And we're going and hanging out for a beer. He called me the other day. He said, I'm back from tour. You want to go for a beer? And I'm like, fuck it, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that's right,
You
man.
know?
See, that's the cool part about doing this right now. And so, if, you know, for all my friends and shit, you know, I've been playing in bands myself for over 20 years. I never thought that I'd be sitting in studio right now, drinking beer and eating Want Boyle with fucking the Dayglo Abortions, man. One of the greatest punk bands of all time, dude. I can't thank you guys enough for being in here. And as I was looking it up, man, trip out on this, Dutchie. Cause they don't play a lot of shit from Canada on our news. You know what I mean? It's,
of course,
I mean,
yeah,
you've got to
yeah,
fucking slaughter a lot of people or something.
No
for
one
it
in
to-
the world plays anything from Canada.
Yeah,
That's
not
right.
Much, not much, except for fucking goddamn Nickelback, for Christ's sake.
Oh,
You know,
God.
It's like, holy fuck.
And that's what you fucking
you-
gave
Oh,
us.
I know. There was still these guys in Germany going, yes, you are responsible for the tar sands. The tar sands are an abomination. But Nickelback, oh, you motherfuckers.
Dude, they got fucking rocks thrown at them in Argentina.
Oh,
Do you see that
saw
shit?
I am so
Oh,
red.
that's
You guys
funny.
want a rock? Bink. Right in the head. I was like, fuck yeah. You know, like our last prime minister, he was responsible for really developing the tar sands, which is like the testing ground for fracking and all of this sort of shit. It's
Yeah.
a fucking abomination up there. And he did a lot of stupid things. Real right-wing guy, not a popular guy. Had his own agenda, ignored public opinion and everything like this. And anyway, he fucking in his second run through, he actually was told to dismantle his government because he'd committed a real crime with the way the Canadian Senate and everything like that works, trying to bypass the Senate and shit like this. And they told him to dismantle his government. And he looked it up. He found that he could, in certain circumstances, he could get out of just abandoning the government and letting the other party take over by immediately calling an election. So he immediately calls an election, fucking snowballs his way through the whole thing, wins the bloody election, again, gets in for a second term, and then has his big party. And what does he do? He gets up and he fucking starts jamming with Nickelback. He's up there playing fucking guitar.
Oh,
And
God.
I'm going like, come on, seriously. I know that attempt to circumvent the Senate and, you know, just railroad democracy, that was pretty bad. We should have gotten rid of him. But he's jamming with fucking Nickelback. Even the old ladies got to be going, oh, well, that's too much.
Yeah, I don't even think Donald Trump would jam with Nickelback.
Fuck no. Well, I was gonna say, and Dutch, you check this out. This is crazy, man. I was looking up songs from you guys, just even just get some ideas for questions, and I came across that whole big news thing, dude. When that you guys were
Oh, yeah. That was quite an affair there back in it was at the late 80s, I guess. And,
late '80s. And what happened? It was a cop had his daughter bought
his daughter's borrowed she's making a legal bootleg recording of one of our albums, which is kind of funny. That's the way it all started. I'm a cartoon character. Don't worry about me. But anyway, he hears "I Killed Mummy" coming out of a room. He's the chief of police of Nepean, Ontario, a suburb of Ottawa, the capital there, and he's just fucking incensed. He stomps into her room, molests her, probably had anal sex with her or something like that. You know the way these people are. Then he grabs the records and goes, "This shit has got to stop." He takes it down to the mayor's office and he plays it for the mayor. The mayor's like just horrified. He gets his secretary in, fondles her breast for a bit, and decides, we have to take this. We have to charge these people. Eh? And so, after he's finished being fisted by his secretary, he, you know the way these people behave. As soon as their office doors are closed, it's all out the internet, porn, shit like this.
And we got Harvey Weinstein, man.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Anyways, they charged our record company with possession for the purpose and manufacturing for the purpose of distributing obscene material. Which is, of course, it's a freedom of expression thing. This is
Exactly.
embedded in the Constitution. We're allowed to have, Canada does not have unlimited freedom of speech. They have a thing in the Constitution which defines hate speech and racist shit. Mostly it was to do with the white power groups and stuff. They felt that they should shut them down and not give them a platform. You're not allowed to publish hate speech in Canada, which I think is actually a fucking mistake. I think everybody should have unlimited freedom of speech, regardless of their opinion. And then the stuff that's bullshit doesn't hold water. Like, if you want to get rid of the white power people, you don't take the microphone away from them. They're dependent on the secrecy. They're dependent on it gives them the righteous fucking argument that you're limiting my freedom of expression. You want to make sure that they've got what everybody else has got, and then you give them the fucking microphone, and let them sink their own boat because their shit doesn't hold water. You know, so they do not, the stuff does not stand up to analysis at all. Anybody with half a brain can look at it and go, this is absurd. You know, these claims that one racial group is superior to another in any way of any kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, whatever, you know. I mean, it's sure pygmies probably aren't great at basketball or something like that. I mean, there's some obvious differences, but apart from that, humans are all the same. We all want the same damn thing. We just want the right to the pursuit of happiness, you know, and shit. Apart from and you know, and if you look at the way even like these white power groups are structured, they're for the most part, most of their members probably just want the same thing as everybody else. They've just been convinced that they're being denied that because of some other group has got their, what was supposed to be theirs, they're getting our jobs or whatever shit like this.
Yeah, it's a bunch of fear shit.
There's lots of, there's enough for everybody.
So what ended up happening? I mean, well, I know it happened.
Went straight. Okay, yeah, sure. So I got sidetracked.
It's all right. I'm helping steer the shit back this way.
I've been known to exaggerate and sort of.
No, but it's amazing to me because they, you know, they're trying to legislate morality.
Yeah.
You know, and it was I see that all the news clips. You guys are all over the fucking news in Canada.
Oh,
they're
was
like
the biggest.
Yeah, and they're like the
so
fucking
great.
dayglo abortion.
It was so great.
You were public enemy number one.
Well, it went right to the Supreme Court. It was
even the Supreme Court can't.
Oh yeah, and it was a test of the Canadian Constitution.
Yeah,
and essentially it got down. It got pretty dicey. Like they had the whole thing in court there in Ottawa. They wouldn't let us anywhere near the place. We were sitting in Victoria. I wanted to get in there. Oh my God, it was like
might have been a good thing.
Fun. But it might not have helped out the case in the long run. But I was talking to this reporter who was in there, and he goes, okay, so they've just played the record. Like, it was so good. Like, we were on the national news every goddamn night for 2 years while this went on.
Did it help your record? Did it help your record sales?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, did it ever. I mean, we were like the heroes of half of the people in Canada. The media was loving us. They were treating us really good because they had no question about it. This is a constitutional issue, and we're all fighting for our rights to free speech, free individual thought and stuff like this. They were behind us 100%. The poor fucking idiots in Nepean that started this thing, I tried to write them a thank you letter at the end. It ended with a 6-4 decision in our favor. And the decision, like, it wasn't unanimous even. It was close. Because the guy said in court, they played the record for the jury and they were laughing their heads off. By the second song, they're all laughing. So the guy takes it off right away. Because this isn't working. They go to Carleton University and they got this stodgy old English professor to come in and read the lyrics just off of the sheet, out of context of the song and everything.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "My God," he goes, when they got to hide the hamster, he goes, "Jesus Christ," he goes, "they've got the list of things that are defined obscene by the Constitution in front of them, and it's essentially violence and sex is not acceptable. Definitely no kids involved. Animals, bestiality, no, the total no, all of this stuff." And he goes, "You got fucking near every single one of them in there in the one song without a comma even between it." And it's just like, and he goes, in that line, he goes, when the guy reads out, then the hamster had an orgasm right at the instant of its death. He goes, the judge even, he goes, takes his glasses off and goes, "Oh my God, that's disgusting." And so like this, and he goes, it was pretty fucking dicey, touch and go at this moment, you know. But eventually they came to the inescapable conclusion that the mayor of Nepean and the chief of police of Nepean, Ontario, cannot dictate the moral. They dict a lot of stuff. I mean, especially their kids. That's what I really heard. It was awful. But anyway, they can't dictate the moral standards for the entire country.
Right.
And so they had to actually rewrite the Canadian Constitution because we'd overthrown one of the chapters.
You guys got the Constitution rewritten.
Oh yeah, they rewrite it.
You hear this shit, Dutchie?
They created what they called the Pornography Act. Now.
The Pornography Act.
And this is an incredibly bizarre thing that happened. This is some really bizarre shit. Like when we were younger kids, Bonehead was we were at, I don't know, mushroom picking or something. Bonehead's hitchhiking home one day. He gets picked up by this old dude in the car. Old chicken hawk guy. He likes his teenage boys and shit. And this old guy falls in love with Bonehead. We ended up becoming friends with this old guy. He was a good guy. He was like, in many ways, he was one of my mentors. I was a teenager. This guy taught me how to not discriminate against people, even if they're, like, he was an old I was a homophobic fucking typical teenage kid, you know? And I was like, ooh, an old fag, like, fuck this shit. This guy taught me, like, once I realized quite away he was one of the funniest people I'd ever met. He was really quite funny and very witty. He taught me how to, like, be way more open-minded, not to be judging people, you know, judge people for what they do for you and what they do for the world, not for what they are or what goes on in their bloody bedroom. That's your own goddamn business. Robin was not a child molester or anything like this. He was into young lads, eh? You know what the old guys are like, whatever, it's their kick, eh? But he loaned us the money to make our first record.
No shit.
And we make Out of the Womb, we make Fetus and then Guano, and then the record company gets busted. They rewrite the Constitution, create the Pornography Act. They still wanted to really make sure that the one thing that the Canadian, and I can understand this one, I'm not into limiting freedom of speech in any way, but child pornography is a dicey issue when it gets into that. You know, there's children, that's not a victimless crime and shit like that. Eh? So the Canadian government, in their wisdom or whatever, have tried to, they've declared that's definitely child pornography. I don't think you had to use freedom of speech to, like, child pornography doesn't fall under the freedom of speech thing or freedom of expression because it's a crime against another person. It's evidence of a crime sort of thing. So it's covered under plenty of things anyway. But anyway, they put this in and they rewrote the whole act. Well, Robin Sharp's coming back from a holiday one time and he's got these, he writes poetry and his poetry is dirty old fucking humorous little stories for an old gay man that he thinks is funny. And they're all about little boys spanking each other and shit like this. Eh? It's poetry, though. This is fucking works of fiction. He gets arrested in the airport and gets charged for manufacturing child pornography on these poems that he's got. And he managed to win his case. He challenged it against the Constitution. They're going, look, he's going, essentially, he goes, I didn't do this shit. I mean, these are naughty stories for old gay men, for fuck's sake. It's a work of fiction, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a weird area there, eh? The cops got it. They actually ended up doing 2 years in jail for it, because it's way too long to explain. Anyway, he got charged under another charge and shit. But this was an incredible loop. The media guys, I think it was quite obvious that we knew the guy and shit. They never put the two things together. I think they thought that we'd be ashamed that one of the guys in the band might be possibly half gay or some shit. Like, fuck, we're punkers, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm pretty impressed he's not having sex with your pets, for Christ's sake. I mean, at least I hope he isn't. You know what I mean?
Well, dude, it's a fucking amazing story because here in the States, I mean, no, I'm sure you guys see all
you
of
guys
our
had the
fucking...
2 Live Crew shit.
We had the 2 Live Crew thing, and then we had the whole fucking thing with Judas
PMRC,
Priest.
the whole PMRC thing. Well, there was the Judas Priest, Ozzy's
suicide thing,
and
like,
all that.
And the thing is, what's fucking amazing about your band, and it's like you hear this, I hear your songs, and when you're a punk rocker, you've got a sick sense of humor. I think, you know, getting into the punk scene, like, we're a little off. We're not the right kind of people, right? I mean, look at this. If I look at you,
No. You got it all wrong, eh? The rest of the world's a little off.
All right, fair enough.
It's like I consider us to be the unsane kind of like that. Eh? I wouldn't want to hang out with somebody that was fucking sane and normal. All they do is work and go to fucking watch TV, for Christ's sake. They're useless. Every major breakthrough made by human beings has been done by a person that's a little bit left of center, you know? And crazy people have invented everything. All of the good art, everything comes from the unbalanced, the unhinged, you know? I mean, it's where all of the fun is. The edges of chaos, you know?
That's the best time I've ever been corrected on my own show. I'll go with that. I was going to say is that, so that's going to take me to the next topic, is that when we have the same kind of sensibilities, right? And so we just like that, we fuck with each other, you know? And so when I would talk back to that first band, I mean, look at one of the songs, it's called Dog Farts, right? And it's funny that
Those are all true stories, by the way, too. Pretty well everything is based in complete something that actually happened.
But in a humorous way, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, because they were funny. I mean, God, just follow me around. Have you ever done any math or anything like high-end math? I got a pretty good background in electronics and engineering and shit like that. I did a lot of math. There's chaos math, chaos theory. There's a type of instance where they call things a specific number, a chaotic attractor. And it's a number that you put into a formula that makes it explode, kind of. It brings chaos into the situation. That's what I am, in two-legged walking version of a chaotic attractor. Shit happens around me all the time. Wacky shit. I know 4 or 5 people that were killed by 2 different serial killers. So what are the chances of a serial killer crossing your life anytime are pretty fucking slim, eh?
Yeah.
I know 4 or 5 people killed by 2 separate ones, which is, and that's, all kinds of weird shit. Like, my life is so full of bizarreness. It's, I don't know, it's wacky. I think it's dangerous, like following me around, or my kids. My kids have got the same thing going on. My daughter, people are just like Russian satellites are falling out of the sky, squishing people as she's walking to the store and shit. It's a crazy stuff. And I don't know I'm not a fatalist or anything like that. I just think things are the way they are. It's probably just because I travel a bit and hang out with weirdos and stuff like that weird things happen, I guess. But I don't know. There I am. I digress again. I'm terrible.
Well, okay. Let me.
It's like fishing stories.
Exactly. Okay. So that was a good answer. But my question was that when I look at that, like dog farts and things like that, like we get it. We see it. I can see the humor. Have you been staying up on especially with you guys, because you guys are good. I think, and I hope not. I hope I'm completely fucking wrong on this. I hope you guys are not the next band, because we were talking before during one of the breaks about how punk rock's changing. The Mentors right now, we're getting protested. You know who that band is?
Oh, fucking right. It's
yeah,
Mentors. Yeah. Sicky, wife beater, literary giant of the fucking 20th century.
And they're getting fucking picketed. And did you hear that bullshit that happened with the Dickies? At their show. And everyone's feelings are now getting hurt. Like, look. If you go see a band called the Dayglo Abortions, you should know that it's not going to be fucking safe.
It's pretty irreverent, Yeah. One of the things I do try and be careful about is I don't go out of my way to hurt people's fucking feelings.
Right.
I try and explain to some of these, angry young kids. I go, I'm a fucking social justice warrior, for fuck's sake. I always have been. I want exactly what you want and shit like that. And I want us all to be accepted. In fact, we all want the same fucking thing, really, when it gets down to it.
Right.
I also at the same, I say, your feelings might get hurt, because I'm telling you, if it's the fucking truth, you can't hide from it, there is only one truth, there's different people's interpretations, and things will look different from one person's view relative to another something, but when it really gets down to it, there is only one truth. It's almost a binary thing. And people will ignore it. They'll deny it. It doesn't fit into their belief system or some shit like this. You got to just, I tell these kids, fucking don't think for yourself. Think critically about shit. It's not, you're putting all your energy into being accepted by the group rather than putting some energy into critically thinking and looking really at the situation and the evidence and who is really behind all of this shit. And, for instance, that Open Borders organization, they're an interesting one. It sounds wicked, Open Borders. And when I was a kid, I would think, yeah, we want open borders. We do want open borders. Everybody should have the right to be able to travel around the world. Maybe not muscle in on somebody else's shit and start mowing their grass, but it's a big world. We don't have to be weird about it. And I don't want nationalism is it's an old way of thinking. We can get rid of that kind of crap without losing sovereign countries and stuff like that. You look deeply into what the Open Borders Foundation really wants. They don't want open borders as such. They want one government, period. One big government, one set of rules, one police force on the entire planet.
That's an interesting point.
That is not fucking cool.
That's right.
That means everybody has to bow to the same fucking gun and that's what you call total global fucking dictatorship is what that is.
Yeah.
You got to think clearly about this shit. But at the
like
same
the
time, I remember being a
board.
kid myself too. And I remember just being so just incensed about the injustices going on in the world and stuff like that. And just, we will not tolerate intolerance around here, God damn it.
Right.
I mean, it's like you become a Nazi or something like this with your self-righteousness and that that fire of youth and shit. So I got to look at these kids today and I go, really, give it 10 years, you guys are all going to see things in a lot differently. You're going to start realizing that the world is way more complicated than they're letting you believe. And, and you start to get to the point where, fuck, I don't hate anything. I can't hold hate in my body, period. And I'm not into violence. I'm not into anything like that. It really kind of is sickening. Violence is a failure. Always a failure. I posted this thing the other day on YouTube just to stir the pot a little bit. I said, if you hate the haters, you're one of them, period. And I said, I'd love to stay around and argue about this, but I got to go to Vancouver. I'll come back.
Does your music? I mean, we're talking a lot about politics.
Yeah.
Is your music political, or do you get rid of the politics and go into the fucking fun side of life?
Well, no. You see, one of the things I noticed, and it was I don't know. I think it was Frank Zappa was maybe the guy that fucking enlightened me to this when I was a kid. There is that, and the stand-up comics and shit. If you try and tell somebody some politics, that preaching politics to someone, if it does not fit in with their worldview, they're going to get offended by your attack on their worldview, and they go into defensive mode and they shut everything out, even if it makes sense to them. They're not going to listen to you. But if you get them laughing, all of their guards are down, eh?
Yeah.
And they just shit starts slipping in. So comedy is an excellent platform to slip a little bit in. And I'm a fucking punk band. I'm not, a world leader. I'm not role model material, believe me, far from it, But I've got some views on shit. I've been around the block a few times, and I can sort of, especially with kids and stuff, you sort of, when it gets to the hate shit, I really try and get them to realize that, it's you feel like that. You feel it in your heart that you've got to stand up and fucking resist at all costs. Don't get sucked into playing the role that they need you to play, though. These white power groups and these hate groups, they need the polar opposite of them to take their place on the battlefield. Otherwise, they have no reason for existence. They need to be denied the rights of freedom of speech so they can come out and go, oh, we're being denied. Like, that makes them exist.
Yeah.
You can't defeat Nazis by acting like a Nazi.
We're coming up on a break right now.
Okay, sure, no worries.
And Dutchie, I think hopefully we found stupid songs right now, because I still want to play it, especially for my friends listening, because it's so awesome. Sure. We're going to take a commercial break. You guys have a little bit extra time. We don't have to go in another full hour, but I'm having a fucking really good time.
Well,
are you guys cool?
Tell our drive shows up and your beer runs out and all of the chicken's gone.
Hey, no.
Laughing, eh?
We got more pollo, we got more beers. It's all good. I want to play stupid songs.
Me out at the end of the day.
You're listening to the Black Lung Show on the world famous chaoticradio.com.
Trade for beers.
I'm your host, Ryan Pena, Dutchie, the punk rock DJ. My brother's with me, and one of the greatest punk bands in the fucking world, the Dayglo Abortions. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Go ahead, Dutchie. That's it. Love this fucking song.
not the person I sang about in that other song. As a matter of fact, she's a really nice old lady. She likes to work in her garden and never talks down to anyone. I never heard her, not intentionally. She is the best person I ever met. I don't care, think this song is dumb. It doesn't matter, cause I love my mom. Because I love my mom. That you'll ever get to listen to this song. It's more for me than it was for other planet. Do this so fucking long. She believes in God, but that doesn't bother me. For God is loving and caring, and He wants us all to be free. I've never heard her, not intentionally. She is the best person I ever met. I don't care, think this song is dumb. It doesn't matter, cause I love my mom. Because 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 I love my mom.
We're back. You're listening to the Black Lung Show live on chaoticradio.com. This special edition of the Black Lung Show with one of the greatest punk bands of all time, the Dayglo Motherfucking Abortions. They're here live in the studio. We're gonna continue the interview. And Dutchy, that's amazing that you just picked that song out of nowhere, because that's actually I Love My Mom is a track off the new album, which I have here. I've had this album for a while now, and it's a great album, by the way. I love this album a lot.
Cool, man.
Dutch, check this out. Look at this. And for everyone on YouTube, check this out. Make sure you guys pick up Dayglo Abortion's new album, Armageddon Survival Guide. It's, dude, just, I'm glad, you know, I mean, we're on the radio, but I'm glad we have the cameras in here, too, because this album is fucking beautiful, man. And I'm being...
Unrest did a real nice job of that, eh? We got a guy from Montreal painted the picture for us. I wanted it to look like a Jehovah's Witness pamphlet, you know, kind of thing like that. And they've got doom, disaster, Armageddon, the end is near, you know, sort of shit.
But it's funny that Dutchy that played that, because as I was trying to think of some questions, and I was spinning this record. I'm drinking beer in my garage one day, and I'm listening to that, and all of a sudden, I Love My Mom comes on, and I'm like, what the fuck? That's fucking crazy. So what's the story behind that song?
Well, I mean, okay, I got this other song, you know, a satirical spoof of punk rock that I wrote way back in the day there, I Killed Mummy.
Okay.
And that's obviously about a fictitious mother and all of it. It's the punker kid. Oh, yeah, I thought punkers are spitting on old ladies. I go, yeah, whatever. I killed my mother. You know, it's like just the overdone spoof of a punk scenario there. But I always felt, you know, in the back of my head kind of like guilty about that. And I just always hoped and prayed that my mother would never hear that fucking song. It's pretty nasty, eh? And
I can't believe you didn't play it to her.
well, you see, she did. My sister actually played some keyboards on those first albums, and she didn't even squeal on me, eh? And my mom's not stupid enough to think that she's gonna like. She just never listened to the Dayglo Abortions, eh? She goes, look, I know what it's all about. It's a bunch of your loud music and you just yelling your head off and swearing like a lunatic. She goes, I don't need to hear that stuff. My imagination's just fine. But I just said, look, I got to do a rebuttal to this one, eh? Because my mom's a nice old bird, eh? She's in her 80s. She's like got a beautiful garden. She's got herself all set up real good. And I sort of wrote it. And my sister saw the demo. I'd put it on YouTube there, just the demo to get the other guys to listen to it. And she emailed it to my mom on Mother's Day, like 3 years ago. And my mom, I go over there and visiting one day. She goes, I heard that song you wrote about me. And I just sort of go, which one? She goes, you said I was an old lady. And I said, no, I said you were a really nice old lady, actually. And she actually said, yeah, I like it. It's sort of, you know, I mean, it's not her style or any shit, but she was impressed. She was in her own right, and I was too. I really wanted to get that. You know, and it's fun playing it, too, because I can look at places, you know, people I've gone, God, I've been playing around here for like 36 or 7 or whatever years. some of you are looking disturbingly familiar for some reason. You know, there's a reasonable possibility that I might have loved one or two of your mothers as well. You know? You know, and, everybody should love their mom, though. I mean, most people do. I mean, shit, you know the way kids are. Kids are rad. They're just, their parents are their heroes and stuff like that. And even if their parents are just complete Lugans like I was, my kids still love me and everything like that, and we're super tight and shit like that. It's we got good family going on and stuff, and even with my ex-wives, well, maybe not the first one so much, but you know.
That's great. That's great. Like, I'm gonna tell you this: that I think that song now is going to be the official chaoticradio.com Mother's Day song. We're, you know,
it should. It's got to be.
It's got to be.
Cool. That's good.
We're gonna do that all the time.
Everybody should be loving their moms.
That's awesome.
for sure.
Every Mother's Day we do a special show for Dayglo Abortions.
Yeah,
it's a Mother's Day special.
You know, the mothers
by.
aren't real old, you know. I mean, like, they don't have to be super hot, eh? But, you know, just sort of like in the middle there somewhere, you know, I'd be more than willing to help out, making them all feel like they were very loved, eh?
Fucking pervert.
No, I'm just a fucking middle-aged guy that's got to do anything he can do to get her fucking wet, you know what I mean?
So the new album just came out. This is the Dayglo Abortions. You can pick it up, and I'll tell you where I bought it. I bought it down the street at Dr. Strange Records. Dr. Strange, Bill, the owner of Dr. Strange Records, was at your show.
Oh yeah, killer.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Go to drstrangerecords.com. You can pick this up.
I saw somebody wearing a shirt like that the other night too.
That was me.
That was you wearing the Dr. Strange shirt.
That's right. Yeah. He's a great supporter. He puts out albums. He only puts out albums of bands that he likes. He's got a great record store. It's down the street here. You can order anything offline. He's just a big supporter of the show, the station. Bill is a great guy. He was going to try to come in here, but I'm sure he's drunk.
Yeah, God forbid, eh?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my bass player was too. He just texted me too. He's like, God damn. He's like, but I'm listening. So I know people are listening. I know you guys need to get this record. It's a great record. And here's what I do that's a little bit different than most radio shows nowadays, because I'm a little bit old school. You know, I have the pleasure of the ability to spin vinyl on my show. It's been a long time since you probably heard that. So I have the new vinyl here right now, and we're going to play the first couple of tracks. And as you were talking about the guys reading your lyrics, I want to touch on this on the first song real quick before we play it. Okay, Dutchie, listen to this. The song's called "Your Facebook Can Kiss My Ass Book." That's fucking rad. I love that, because social media is
it's a complex and weird place.
It is, right? I have a love-hate relationship with it. Like,
it's a good thing and a bad thing.
It's terrible. You can hear new bands, but then you just hear everyone's stupid fucking opinion all the goddamn time.
But the weird thing is,
a lot of whining on Facebook, for sure.
It's like that's not even necessarily a bad thing, because the will of the world is like out there continually all of the time. It's like this tornado of thought, and stuff that happens like your virtual world there gets people take these things out into this real, you know, and a lot of it goes in the wrong direction, sure. And a lot of people, you know, there's kids that are getting hurt. There's all kinds of weird shit that's going on, but it's also very hard to hide anything now, isn't it? I mean, you can sort of just about take the pulse of the entire planet getting onto social media. It's a bizarre thing. Even though people aren't being 100% honest, they're putting on an act. It's like the psych evaluation tests. It doesn't matter if you're being dishonest on the psych evaluation test, because the questions and the answers are not what you really think they are, right?
Yeah.
You can look between the words and you can see where people are going. You can see the direction shit is. There's a really been. Don't think that there aren't people very heavily analyzing this shit, trying to predict this stuff.
No, that's true. That's true. And what I was going to say is that, like, I use social media and I use Facebook, but my thing is that I love seeing my friends post videos of shows and supporting other bands and things like that.
Awesome.
But then I hate, you know, there's being a father myself.
Yeah.
I've even had it for a case. There was a case where one of my kids was getting like online bullied, and like that's the worst kind of fucking bullying, because you're a fucking coward if you're gonna bully someone online.
Yeah, like virtual
dangerous.
Bullying. It's like
that stuff's dangerous,
throw
but
some
also
fucking balls.
But you see, look at where it started. It started in the trolling, and trolling is a really powerful weapon for going after self-righteous power people and stuff that get on there, and they've got their, they're starting to push their opinion on the internet and in social media, and you can get them to show their true colors real easy just by going in there and pushing the fucking buttons and trolling them. But that whole concept has got, of course, some people aren't socially motivated to try and change the world for a better place. They're in there just fucking shit up. So it's a playground for sociopaths as well, too.
Right. No, and
just plain hurting people, which is what I was going to say before there about. It's great to be harsh and to poo-poo jokes and do all of this shit, but to actually go after people and intentionally injure their feelings and hurt them and insult them and stuff, and that's not fucking cool. You got to be respectful and you got to have some manners at the same time. And I try and make a lot of the stuff to be more self-deprecating than it is pointing. Like, I don't like that type of humor where there has to be a victim in the joke or something like that.
Okay.
You got to have, you can cut people's opinions down and everything like that, and people's feelings are going to get hurt sometimes if it's something they deeply believe in. You can't shy away from that, but you don't have to just go after people with the intention of hurting their fucking feelings. That's cruel, and that's just, that's just rude and cruel, really, when it gets down to it. So there's a balancing act kind of.
Well, there is. The point I was saying is that, especially bullying with, with adults is different, but with kids, man, I mean, that shit leads to, depression and unfortunately there's been a lot of suicide and things like that.
Right,
That's some fucking shit. But anyway, everyone I think has that love-hate relationship with Facebook. And one of the things I hate too is that, and I'll do a quick plug real quick. With all these disasters that are going on right now, my band's playing a benefit show for the hurricane for Texas. I'm originally for Texas. We're playing October 20th. This Friday night coming up at the Blacklight District Lounge with the Trancers and Ilcom and a bunch of other great bands. And that's actually doing something. It's the people I see online that are just like, my thoughts and prayers with them. Like, well, fuck, thanks for doing nothing,
It's like when someone dies, everybody wants to get, they want to get in there and get there. It's like they're like getting some personal satisfaction and glory out of identifying with this. It's more of this group identified.
Yeah. So just
punk rock's good because they do lots of benefits.
That's right. And
all over the place.
Don't talk about it, be about it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Anyway.
What they say, talk minus action. DOA's shithead might be a bit of a handful sometimes, but he's a smart guy too. All talk, no action, waste of fucking time, man.
That's right. You guys are listening to the Black Lung Show live on chaoticradio.com. The needle's about to hit the record. I love this part. Oh, that sound is just so amazing.
Yeah, I know, isn't it?
This is the new album from the Dayglo Abortions, Armageddon Survival Guide. Pick this up right now. It's a great album. We're going to play a couple tracks from it back to back because punk rock songs are a little short.
Spoils man, are all mine. Precious things redefined and to use when just a little cockroach, and you think I have no worth. We're all cockroaches, harmless little cockroaches. The meek will inherit the earth. I'm a cockroach, just a little cockroach, and you think I have no worth. We're all cockroaches, an army of cockroaches. The meek will inherit the earth.
Good radio and chaotic radio. In that order.
And we're back. You're listening to the Dayglo Abortions and their new album, Armageddon Survival Guide. Available now and available on vinyl. I'm so glad that vinyl is making a huge comeback.
Yeah, it's the
Isn't
bomb.
that cool?
I mean, it's
for sure.
like really from the band's point of view, we've got a good deal with these Unrest guys. They're awesome. We have no contract. We have no nothing. They make this stuff. They press, let's say, however many X number of records. They give us 20% off the top, sort of shit like that. There is no requirement for a contract. It's easy, and then we get the 20%, we sell it, and then we buy them off of them for less money than we could get them made ourselves. And they get this stuff. They go to this plant in the Czech Republic, probably the best pressing plant on earth, almost, set up by the Russians for their classical music and shit. They've got some local Czech people that walk the discs through, the masters through the cutting rooms and everything like that, and make sure everything's all good. And God, that's almost the best sounding record in my damn collection. I can't believe it. I always wanted to do a 12-inch 45 too, eh? It fucking sounds so huge. I was just going, oh my God. Once we realized it was, it's 20 some odd minutes long, it fits on a fucking 12-inch 45. Do it.
Yeah.
And it was just, I just love the sound of that. And we get the stuff up them. I encourage everybody to fucking download it, give it away, load it onto every damn channel you can find and give it to everybody. And then, because it attracts people down to the shows when we're traveling. Bands make their money selling shit to the audience at the live shows. And come down, we got all the vinyl, we got everything on vinyl. You get the lyrics, the posters. These guys did a nice job too. They put the old original posters in the records.
Yeah.
Like if you notice, if you see the Fetus of Fetus, they put out. They've got the original posters. They've got all like really done nice. They put their backs into that stuff.
They do.
I'm really impressed with it.
It's a great album, by the way. I love it, and I think a lot of times when I'm talking to the guys in my band and other bands as well, we're talking about some of the older bands that are putting out new albums and the new albums suck. And you guys are not.
It's almost in the rule books. Well, they're all middle-aged guys now, and they put out some pretty good records back in the '60s or something. And he goes, it's about time for them to really put out some really middle-aged sounding, mediocre, just watered down schlock because they're living that comfortable life, and stuff. But that's not so with us. Actually, we don't live a super comfortable life. We're not wealthy or anything like that. I don't even fucking have a house, for Christ's sake. I'm fucking sofa surfing pretty well. Mark's on government-assisted living. He's fucking blind. We're either blind, retarded, stupid, or on drugs. We're not exactly rolling, and
Yeah.
the shit is still, I'm not stuck in some sort of world trying to relive the moments of my life. I was very fortunate. I didn't write a lot of songs about breaking up with my teenage girlfriend or something like that because I'd sound like a fucking idiot at my age, singing shit like that. I can't imagine some of these poor bands there. They're just looking at themselves in the mirror going, oh my God, I don't know if I could do this again. This is like another song. I sound like a fucking child molester, for Christ's sake, singing this shit at this age, And the stuff, my views have changed a little bit, but I'm still trying to. I'm still pissed off. I still see, as I said, I don't hate anything. I don't hate anything but Brussels sprouts. Actually, I hate Brussels sprouts. Everything else is good. I got a little bit different. I mean, I've gotten better at my lyrics. I'll say that. I'm a much better lyricist than I used to be. They were a little bit clunky, and it's tough to write a punk song. You have this complex story you want to get down in 40 words, and every other line's got a rhyme, and all of this shit, and you have to swear at least 4 times in a sentence. And I mean, if you set all of these rules up, it gets tough to get a story out of there. So I've gotten actually quite good. I can write songs about taking a poop. In fact, I've written, I don't know, half a dozen songs about taking a shit. It's like shit songs. Oh yeah, I was thinking I'm probably going to get big in the movies eventually. Soundtracks in the movies. God, Frank, we need a song about shit. You know, we need a song about somebody taking a shit and having a hard time doing it or something. Well, hey, I'm your man. I got like several songs about taking a shit. As a matter of fact, what do you want? You want a hard, lumpy shit, or do you want one of those ones that spray out, you know, in between the seat and the toilet? The songs that cover all of it. It's like, it's kind of like the Eskimos and their snow, eh? I mean, they've got hundreds of words for snow. I got hundreds of songs about taking a shit. I mean,
well, right now during the interview, I got to do something. I got to get your drummer to stop talking so goddamn much.
I know. He's a fucking monster.
He is.
This guy is a tyrant.
How did you end up getting? How did you get so lucky to be in this band? Tell me your story real quick.
Well, I mean, I started playing the drums when I was a kid. Like, I just turned 41. I started when I was like 11. So I just, I started playing in bands when I was about 15 or 16. So all through the 90s, my bands we'd open up for the Dayglos, and then I think it was about around this time, like in 2000, like the fall of 2000, they got a tour with Dr. No, and Bonehead, the original drummer there, couldn't get across the border. So, like Murray was saying earlier, he called me up. He's like, I got good news and bad news. Good news, you're in the Dayglos. Bad news is we're playing in Seattle tomorrow night. We got 35 shows to do.
Oh shit!
So I mean, luckily, I'm like you, man. I grew up listening to the Dayglos. Like when I started playing the drums, I threw on Fetus of Fetus and learned my punk beat when I was 12 years old on my Walkman.
Yeah.
And so I knew all those songs. So it was like right when Death Race 2000 came out. So I had to basically like cram and learn all those songs, but.
I by the third Walkman on the way to the gig. Let me listen to the ending twice. He goes. He listened to the ending a couple of times.
Yeah.
Except we hadn't listened to the fucking album in years. So now we had to play them exactly the way they were in the record, which was funny. But
and that's what we're doing right
by
now.
Like the third or fourth show, though, I mean, fuck, we were tight as a.
It's
OJ's glove, for Christ's sake.
Tight as OJ's glove. Tighter than Mother Teresa's
that's a nice
sphincter after the gentleman's stitch there,
Yeah.
So,
were you nervous, man? When you first joined or your first show? And do you remember your first show with the Dayglo Abortions? How's that?
Yeah, it was. Where was it in Seattle?
Yeah, Seattle at that movie theater there.
Yeah, no, it was.
University
It was awesome, man. I was like,
Mark
I was a little bit nervous about the
new.
new songs, like just like they're not new now, but from the Death Race 2000 record, I was like, oh shit. So but I mean, after the third or fourth show, I figured all that shit out, and.
No, Mark was on it right from the beginning. I've actually got a recording of the first show that he played. You'd never know that he wasn't. I mean, it's just fucking awesome. This guy is a machine. It's like his timing is so good. Him and Will, the bass player, play together in other bands as well. You probably like this. They're in a band called the Frostbacks, which is like the northern version. You got your wetbacks down here, and you got your frostbacks sneaking across the border up the other.
Yeah, we all wear parkas and toques on stage. And all our songs. It's like basically like SCTV if it was like a punk band. Like all our songs are about. I don't know. It's just kind of like all about Canadian shit, That's Eskimos and driving eight. Like
but those two guys, bass and drums.
Beers.
Our rhythm section is solid as anything. It's really something. Me and Matt, the other guitar player. We just get to sort of like fucking make funny faces and gibble around. We can do whatever we want because these guys are just driving it home all the way. And when you walk into a venue and a band's playing, if the drums are monstrously tight like that, every cell in your body, even if you don't like the music, it's sort of, because of its precision and everything like that, it grabs you. That's what this guy has given us. It's just put life in the old monster again, I mean, shit. I have to butter him up like this, when I get a chance to play, because he is so fucking cruel and mean to me when we're in there. Actually, Mark, with any luck, he's in this. What is it? It's not really stem cell research program, but that.
Gene therapy. Yeah, dealing with a clinic over in Philadelphia. Been dealing with them for about 10 years now, and they've been making some breakthroughs with my eye condition and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully something happens with that at some point here.
I hope so too, brother. Can you see it all?
I can see basically like light in like shapes and shadows. I could see a little bit better when I was a kid. Like I could ride my skateboard down the road.
Yeah, he's a skater
watch
too,
TV
Nice.
and shit.
This guy, I've seen this guy drop in like a fucking 18-foot vert ramp for fuck's sake. That
Well, that's all I do now. Like I used to be able to bomb hills and shit like that, but now the last like 10 or 12 years, I just skate like half pipes and bowls. I don't really, because it's like you drop in, and it's the same thing on both sides, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know, I don't got to worry about getting run over or anything like that. You know?
like he does when I'm leading him around town and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
yeah, I'm not maybe the
Safer
best.
by him fucking self.
Yeah, oh yeah.
When you're
Well, that's
leading
right.
him
We're
around.
team blind and blinder. Eh?
Yeah, blind and blind.
I'm not even paying attention to half of this. We were right at the corner, right at the intersection of Hollywood and Vine, the middle of the afternoon, tourist mecca, you know, cars everywhere. And we're walking across the road, I get distracted, and I sort of go, walking, I'm looking at something, I hear all these cars beeping their horns, and I turn around, fucking Mark standing in the middle of the intersection, surrounded by cars, and they're all just going, and he's like, oh, fuck, where are you? And I'm just like, oh, shit. I come walking back, you should have seen the looks on some of these drivers. They're just looking at me going, you fucking asshole. I can't believe you left this. And I'm like, whatever, easy. He's drunk. I'm just leading him back.
I like you don't even say he's blind. He's drunk. Fucking being blind's got fuck all to do with it. He's just fucking drunk.
We're so hard on Mark. He lost his cane one time, and we fucking found this. It was a barbershop thing, I think, or something. This giant styrofoam. We made him a giant styrofoam cane. It was like about 8 feet long, and about 4 inches thick. It had the red stripes going down it. We took the red shit off and just put the red thing on the end, and he's got this.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
you
it was a
knocked over
giant
Ming
candy
vase with
cane,
that
remember?
motherfucker, didn't you? Actually, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was fun.
funny.
Poor old Mark, he just gets the brunt. Like we are really like a bunch of 9-year-olds or something like this cruising. We're so immature. It's actually refreshing. I don't want to grow up too fast or anything like that. And we're leading Mark around, you know. He goes, and if there's anybody that needs assistance who would like to get on the plane, please enter now. And we'll put Mark up there, and then everybody else is walking along behind him, sneaking to get our seats and shit. Yeah. We're abusing the blind privilege.
Oh, we
thing as
definitely
much
use
as
the
possible.
blind card as much as
Oh, yeah, the
possible.
cost.
I would.
Oh yeah, fucking God! You guys have even got bailed out of a fucking dicey situation in Tijuana in the middle of the night, all wasted. Willie was actually in the back seat of a cop car, and they had some shit on him. They were gonna bust his ass, and then they realized that, God damn it, we got this blind guy, and they're just like,
Blind guy passed out drunk on the
what
sidewalk.
a pain in the ass, and we have to deal with this. Then they just fed up, fuck it, and they let them both go because they didn't want to deal with the blind guy.
Yeah, that was that first tour when we played in San Diego, and we were like had this bright idea. Hey, it's 4 a.m. We're all hammered. Let's go to Tijuana for the night.
That was a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant idea. It was
I got a message too. I'm lazy. I don't want to pull it up, but I know people are listening all over the place. There was somebody who was asking me like, "Do you think the band's gonna remember they played a backyard party here in San Diego for 1996?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure they do."
That's the backyard party in San Diego in 1996. I was actually not there myself, but I know I've heard about the party. I've talked to actually people who were at the fucking party a couple of times, and I wasn't even there. And I would just,
So you do remember?
I remember.
You
I wasn't
remember
even
something you
there.
weren't even at? That's that's amazing.
I mean, apparently it was some epic shit for the San Diego fucking thing. Well, because people have brought it up so many times. Like people all over the fucking, not even people in San Diego, people in Seattle have said, "Oh man, remember this party in San Diego?"
No, what happened? That's what I'm saying. Someone just messaged me
I
that.
have no fucking clue. I wasn't even there. So I mean, it was Spud, the old bass player, saying, "Oh heck, that's better." There's that lung that I was, my extra lung. It was. So I got these new vacuum cleaner bag lungs. You cough up the lung and you click on the new one. I didn't quite have that one inflated properly yet. She's good now, though.
I think I just saw Chris walk back in the studio. Chris, can you hear me? Why don't you come in here, brother? No.
No, Chris isn't even his real name, eh? So you can't even go there with this guy.
Well, I was just gonna give you some props. I mean, everybody's important when it comes
He's
to.
He's our guy from Unrest and shit like that, and Chris came over from Europe to drive and shit. These guys are giving us some support and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. I
We
just
wouldn't be here
want to
without
give you
shit.
some props on air, man. But anyway, well, there's cameras in here, so maybe he's got some.
Probably if he came from Europe, it's probably illegal.
He's just a little shy. That's all. You know, I mean.
Well,
Right.
we have beer.
Yeah, no, he doesn't drink.
Oh, good for you.
Not in public, anyway.
Yeah.
Actually, it's he's not really even a person. He's just an inflatable guy, so we can go. That's how we get in the carpool lane. Really, you start asking him too many questions, you'll realize right away. Wait a minute, this is just an inflatable person or a cardboard cutout, just like that little inflatable doll that I had a dumpster diving roommate. She went out, she found an inflatable doll in the dumpsters one night and brought it home. And
really?
Yeah, a used inflatable doll out of a dumpster. She brings it home to my house. And I'm like, oh, that's lovely. It's drooling a bit, isn't it? And stuff like. Except the thing about this inflatable doll was, it was only 3 feet tall. And I'm looking at it going, this is kind of uber creepy. It's like we got this little 3 foot that's had one orifice right under its chin, just like with some mung coming out of it. And I'm going, this is fucked up. So we have this inflatable child doll here.
That's disturbing. That's disturbing.
It was thoroughly disturbing, I tell you.
Jesus Christ.
And, and the people who came over to my house for months after that were really horrified to see that thing sitting there in a chair at the kitchen table, drooling into a bowl and stuff. What? That's funny. You should have seen what it looked like when Snotface started fucking the goddamn thing.
Here we go.
That was just, I tell you, that was I'm just like, oh my God, Simon's got the neighbor's kid again. Oh, thank God, it's just the inflatable child doll. I thought it was the neighbor's kid again.
So that's a good segue. We're going to go from inflatable doll to promoting the tour that you guys are on right now. Again, I was there Friday the 13th. Great show, great bands. Last night, you guys played Los Angeles.
Yeah, Los Lobos. There, we finally hit Sunset Strip.
Where
is Los Angeles? Isn't it like hundreds of cities all band-aided together and shit?
Yeah.
I've never actually found the downtown or something.
Dutchie, you're too loud. Close the door. It's all right. It's live radio.
No, we were real happy. It was a good time last night.
Yeah, and so you got to play.
Lots of OGs out there at the show. Lower class brats there. Ron Martinez's band and fucking Final Conflict.
Starving Wolves. And
Starving Wolves have been doing the whole tour with us. There's some really good young guys from Texas there. And singer Dave's singing for the Casualties now. He's the new singer of the Casualties. He's from Crumb Bums. He's done lots of real good bands and stuff.
Right.
And
So what's the gig tonight? Let's promote that. This is for everybody listening. The San Diego crowd.
We are in San Diego tonight. Yeah, that's right. I don't know the name of the fucking bar. I never.
You're looking at the blind guy. He's like,
I don't know the name of the fucking bar.
Where the fuck are we playing? You asking him?
Yeah,
I don't even know what town
he's
we're in
fucking
right now.
driving. Hey,
do you want me to look it up for you?
Yeah, hey,
Chris, where are they playing? Are you still inside?
Somebody asked our inflatable driver there where we're playing.
No, he's outside.
Oh,
He's outside.
shit,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. Well,
it's apparently the place has got a lot of history and shit. It's a real good club.
Brick by Brick, the Casbah.
Casbah.
Casbah, that
right.
sounds familiar.
All right. We'll go with that one.
Yeah, that's good with that. If we're not there, we're probably at one of the other bars, but I think it's that one. Yeah.
Well, that's the good thing is that nowadays, I mean, with our love-hate relationship with social media, you just go on. What's your website, brother? Plug that.
Well, our website's actually shut down because of a management crisis. We got the Facebook shit. We were godrecords.com. No, we weren't. No, we were daygloabortions.com.
Right? Yes.
Yeah. But right now, it's just, you're just going to get a fucking blank page. It's not hooked up right now.
All right, you're making this difficult
we
for
had
me.
to shoot some people and stuff.
All right, if you guys are on social media or just Google this shit.
On Facebook.
Dayglo Abortions and just put where are they playing tonight. Do you guys know who you're playing with tonight?
Yeah, we're playing lower class brats for sure.
Starving Wolves, and then probably some local San Diego bands.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Hope so for my San Diego friends and my San Diego friends bands that are listening. I didn't see the flyer. There's a good band called Dead on the Wire. Good friends of mine that are down there. Hopefully they're playing with you guys. They're a good band. If not, just make sure you guys go to the show. So you're here in Southern California right now on this tour. And look, I'm going to send Ron some email information too for some of my other friends that do booking.
Yeah.
And dude, I want to play with you guys bad, dude.
Well, you got your line in with Ron. He's the man. He's the guy to make that happen. Pretty well. Yeah.
That's bucket list for me, brother. I can't thank you guys enough, dude. Like I'm saying, I'm jealous of the blind guy. He's playing in one of the greatest punk rock bands of all time. You've been listening to the Black Lung Show. This is the Dayglo Abortions. Make sure you listen to that. you don't hear good bands like this. You know, if you listen to the terrestrial radio, you're going to hear fucking Led Zeppelin and Metallica 6,000 times over and over and over again. There's great bands like the Dayglo Abortions. There's great bands like the Briefs. There's great bands like the Cadillac Trentwell. Rest in peace, Gabby.
Yeah, Gabby.
Oh, I heard that. Holy shit.
Yeah, the documentary just came out. We had Brian and his wife Jamie were here. The documentary is out now about Gabby's life. So make sure you guys check that stuff out.
Yeah, I want to check that
Where
out.
is where are you guys playing? Okay, you guys are playing San Diego tonight. And then you're heading to Vegas. And
Then we do Vegas, and I think we're getting into
couple
like
shows
Texas,
in
Arizona, and
Arizona,
stuff like that. Yeah.
Texas, and then
Then we're cruising back up through Idaho.
Oklahoma City, Denver, and then over to
Boise,
Idaho and Salt Lake. Yeah, basically back home.
Yeah. And then heading back up to the Northwest Coast.
Yeah.
Probably be back just after Halloween or something like that.
Yeah.
Then we just sit there waiting for the next call from Ron.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's we've got some stuff to do on the East Coast because we still haven't finished off that tour that we got kicked off of. You know, like
you got kicked out of a tour
when we got booted out. When we got booted out of the country, that's like 6 years ago now. For Christ's sake, we still haven't finished that one yet. So we got to get over and do the East Coast and do all that shit. And
Yeah,
we'll be around. Yeah, we'll be
Boston and New York and shit like that.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't want a place to live. I'd rather live in a bloody shitty hotel or on a punk rock fucking floor and just be playing every night, you know?
Well, check this out. This is your home, man. You see the green room. We got food for the bands. I mean, Dutchie and I, you know, and not all, I say Dutchie and I because he's right here with me, but all the people, Cat Monroe, Greg Dixon, there's a lot of good people in the music industry, and there's a lot of good people here at the station. If you guys even when you're on tour and you don't want to be sitting in a shitty hotel room, you want to come here and barbecue with us and kick it, dude. You guys are
Sweet.
welcome to.
So
We
much.
got a nice green room there. Oh, by the way, for everyone, the bands that have been emailing me songs, I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody listening. If I haven't gotten back to you, it's probably because your band sucks and I don't want to book you guys on my show. So I'm sorry about that. There's, you know, what can I say? I mean, I went through the same shit when I was sending my stuff to record labels and people, and
you win some, you lose some.
Exactly. This is the Black Lung Show. This is my baby. It's been my show, but it's not my show. It's your show. But I handpick the bands. I have the best fucking bands in the world. I swear to God. And look,
don't get discouraged just because this guy doesn't like your fucking band either. You know.
That's right. There's a bunch of other idiots on the show.
Try another fucking show. You know what I mean? Whatever. Don't give up, though. Don't give up.
I've got weird taste. I like the Dayglo Abortions. You know what I mean? You might not do them. I was playing your guys' music on the way into the show for my foster children. They're like, "That's what you dig," and I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like,
"You're whacked."
Can I just tell them?
Maybe we can get transferred to another house here or something. Like one that doesn't listen to this whack shit.
Can I just tell them the phone call that I got yesterday morning when I called you? You're like, and I got a message from you. I think you was a little bit fucked up when you was at their show.
Yeah,
you're like, dude, fuck it, I got the fucking Dayglo Abortions. It's not 4 o'clock, it's fucking 2 o'clock. Right? So I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Right? So then I call you yesterday morning, and he goes, dude, you got to listen to this band. You got to fucking listen to them now. He said they wrote the fucking best song in the world. In fact, fuck it, let me sing it to you. And what did you sing?
Acapella version of Arg Fuck Kill. I
did.
Check it out a second. Like I did that the other day. I was playing a solo thing back home in Victoria and just playing some acoustic, weird, sort of Tom Waitsy kind of songs that I do this thing. And somebody at the end of it goes, "Come on, play a Dayglo song for fuck's sake." I go, "Well, you know, I thought about this a bit, and I thought maybe if somebody did request a Dayglo song, I'd do like an a cappella version of Arg Fuck Kill. Here it goes. Blah, 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 Arg Fuck Kill. There, how'd that work out for you, for fuck's sake?"
I know, he done it with way more fucking passion than that, dude. He fucking did it the way. Go on, do it. Do it.
Like,
well, let's hear it.
Because you got to do it the right way, right? Blah 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 Arg fuck kill.
And then he goes, and isn't that the fucking best lyrics you've ever fucking heard?
You ever heard of fucking like talk to? Well, I mean, you probably have. There, talk to European women when they're trying to tell you a story that's got a bunch of incidental, unimportant stuff, and they go, "So we were walking down the beach, and then blah 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 blah." Then they get to the next part, and they just keep inserting blah blah blah. You know, when there's
was that what inspired the song?
No. The song was inspired by this fucking review that we got by this guy in a paper in Vancouver. not loving our shit. He called us a bunch of Johnny Rotten come latelys and stuff like this, and which kind of stung a bit. I'm like, "Oh, you fucking cunt, that's nasty." Eh? And he goes through this whole thing, and then he says, at the end of it, he goes, "And any more publicity for this cretin in his band and with their blah 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 arg fuck kill lyrics is duly undeserved." After he's just spent, like 2,000 words slagging the shit out of us and stuff like this. But he goes, but it was funny because I go, for starters, I got kicked out of the public school system. In fact, I've been kicked out of every school I went to, even kindergarten, which is
I find that hard to believe.
It's actually the truth. I punched a nun in the nose.
You punched a
and
got
kicked out of kindergarten. For
God, I love this guy.
More and more.
Pretty fucking proud of that, actually. But anywho's, as they say. But the fucking this guy called me a cretin, which this British private style rugby school that I ended up getting put in private school ties and rugby for fucking 3 hours every goddamn day. It was brutal, eh? But they called me, "You fucking miserable little cretin," about 100 times a day, eh? And so I'm going, well, Jesus Christ, you don't get to pick your nickname and shit. That's how I got my name. And what an awesome song. I'm just like, thank you so much for this. Beautiful. I hope I get a Juno Award for this one, or something like this. And then I see the guy 25 years later. We're playing a show, and he's in one of the other bands. And he's going on about, "Yeah, man, your guys' first album was so awesome. I remember when it came out and shit." He's going on. And I go, funny, because that's not what you were saying back in the day. I had to go, you don't obviously remember what you were saying about a record. Because I go, the song Art Fuck Kill? He goes, "Oh, yeah. Like, just marvelous song." I go, "You wrote that song, for fuck's sake." And he looks at me like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, you fucking in this interview." He denied writing the article. And he's looking at me all funny. "What do you mean I wrote the song?" And when you finished it off with the blah, 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 Art Fuck Kill lyrics thing, that's where the song came from.
No shit, awesome.
Yeah, and he's like,
do you remember what his name was?
Alex Vardy.
All right.
I remember his name. He actually played in some reasonable bands. He wrote for the Georgia Strait. He's still a journalist and shit like that. But he does selective. I've seen a bunch of these ones. I was reading a magazine one day, and it goes on about, I don't know what album it was, just like Death Race or something, and the guy's going, "Oh God, I'm just sick of these mid-tempo old punk bands, putting out these fucking mid-tempo records." Blah, he slags the shit out of it. Not like there's guys' masterpiece, quintessential punk album, Fetus a Fetus. And I'm going, fuck, this isn't a very good review, is it? Holy shit. And Bonehead goes, "Yeah, well, I actually have his review of Fetus a Fetus here." Go back 25 years and start reading that, and he's slagging the shit out of Fetus a Fetus. And that's pretty well the way it always goes. They're slagging it 1 minute, and then it becomes sort of cool, and all of a sudden they shift their...
Yeah.
And they just eliminate delete that stuff out of the table of my worldview, whatever table there. And it's funny and just so awesome to bust someone on that, though.
I have a thought for you, too. And Mark, how old are you?
What's that?
How old are you?
41.
Okay, so we're the same. We're about the same age. I'm turning 41 in February.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And when
I'm 42, by the way. I'm just.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. No, I just turned 57 the other day. Actually,
I don't like.
I know you probably thought I was 42, looking at me and stuff like that.
No,
You're
dude.
probably going, "Oh, I can't believe you're 57 years old."
I thought you were 36.
Yeah.
You're a young man. I don't like this word, and I'm going to bring it up because I was thinking about how to use it like properly. I don't like the word poser because I feel bad for like the kid that first goes to his first punk show and gets and sees that.
Start like that.
Yeah.
Right, they all start like that, but
everybody tries to. They want to be accepted.
That's true. But I did think about this, and my show is all about positivity and helping with the scene. But the one thing that I've always talked about is that in my time of playing, right, and I think it's pertinent to you in this regards is that and Mark too, and especially to Dutchie, is that when you're genuine and you love the music for what it is, you never want to stop playing.
Right.
You're still playing.
Yeah.
Because it speaks to you, and it's not something fake. I can't tell you how many people that I played with 20-something years ago, like, the first kid that introduces me into punk rock, and we got Mohawks, and we're listening to Dayglo Abortions and Rudimentary Penile and Flux of Pink Indians. And
There's a sick weird one. One of my favorite weird names there, Flux of Pink Indians.
Right?
That's a good one. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
But then I look back now, and I see a lot of the guys that were in the scene, and now they're just some of them are actually lawyers. They're just button up and they're done, and it sucks. It's like you guys really were the posers of the thing. Like I love the fact that you're still playing. I love the fact that you obviously are doing this because you love it.
Oh, it goes deeper than that. It's I mean, I've got a lot of issues, you might say, and stuff with everything. My communication, my social skills are fucking awkward. I was like fucking bored or just about fucking autistic when I was a kid. That's how I process the world. I mean, and those are the fears of my youth. Me processing them and shit. I got music that I won't play for anybody at all. I've written thousands of songs. Most of them are purely personal therapy. And I got pack them around with me, an MP3 player. If shit gets weird for me, I'll sit down and listen to a bunch of my personal therapy songs. That's how I process everything in the world, really. And I guess it turns out that other people are using it to process their world for them as well, too. That's one of the things that's actually pretty fucking good is when somebody tells you that, man, I was in some fucking hard times. Shit was going bad for me, and your music got me out of that. You know, that's a great thing to think that I've actually helped somebody else and stuff like that. And it's interesting that sometimes it's for the same reasons that I wrote the fucking music for, to get myself out of the thing. And a perfect example of that is SNFU and Chai Pig. The lyrics in that song are the trials of Chai Pig's tortured fucking life as an eccentric artist and shit. And man, he goes to some places, that are just the lyrical content of the guy. He's an amazing lyricist. And I don't know if you know SNFU.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, he's really got some awesome songs. Like this whole concept of my ceiling knows what I'm feeling.
Well, that's
just staring at that shit. And,
again, brother, that's why I relate so much to this band, because, like I said, in my very first punk band, the very first time, and had no musical talent, no classes, none of that stuff, right? I actually have a song, and we had a flyer, and I'll send it to you once I find it. I mean, this is back in the 90s. I wrote a song called "I Wish I Was an Abortion," and it was actually just
opt out on the fucking whole thing. Yeah.
It was it was about depression, and just and I got my feelings out that way, and the lyrics, just like the first verse was just like, please, daddy, don't beat me no more. Oh no, mommy's drunk on the floor. People say I've got so much to live for, but my girlfriend just walked out the door. I wish I was an abortion. And people used to shit on me all the time for writing stuff like that. But it was like,
that's pretty fucking good, though. That's like awesome. The real shit. Yeah. And that's the kind of stuff that someone else who was sitting and more or less looking at the same thing right there goes, "Oh my God, I'm not alone."
Yeah, exactly.
And all of a sudden they look at this whole thing and they go, they don't know really what you're at or where you're at or anything like that, but it draws a link. And that's a huge community service you're doing right there by that. There's a lot of people who can't, they go to therapies, talk to some cold ass social worker or something who's, not really into it.
Yeah.
If they can identify with something like that, it can change everything sometimes for them, you know what I mean? And it helps I stumble a lot, and I've gone to some terrible places people should never go and shit, and managed to get myself out of there. If something that I've written in a song can make you steer around some of those traps that I've just been diving into all through my life, fucking fantastic,
Well, I'll tell you this, and I'm being 100% honest with this. That's what I'm saying. When I talk about this, this is why I'm so, I keep saying this, I'm so excited to have you guys in the studio, man. I mean, not only that is when I was in dark places like that, that's why I would listen to punk rock, because it would bring me up out of it. Mm-hmm. I would listen to when I hear stupid songs. I want to start dancing. I want to start slam dancing, and it puts me in a better mood because I'm like, yeah, this is rad, and it made me want to play music like that. It inspired me, and it also taught me, because when I talk about the 80s, the heavy metal bullshit, and there's nothing wrong with heavy metal. I dig it,
The eyeliner, the black fingernails, they get some cool guitar solos.
Right,
but Star Trek shit. Yeah, their stories are a little funny.
Their whole operatic, they have to be so fucking amazing.
They're too damn serious.
Exactly. And they could not
silly they're being. For
That's
Christ's
right.
sake.
That's
Well,
right.
the thing is, yeah, the metal guys, they all think they're gonna be somebody. Where the punkers realize we're pretty much playing for beer, you know.
And you are. There's still more beer here. There's still more 1 point. I know you guys got to get going. We got to start wrapping up the show. Look, I know you guys are going to be coming back on tour. I'm gonna make sure that we're gonna plug all your stuff on the station.
Sure, man. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks for having us and stuff like that.
Oh,
Thanks for the good
I really
food
appreciate it.
and good food
Okay.
and good talks, man. It's all good.
You guys are always welcome back here in the state. Like I said, even if you're on tour and you don't even want to be on the microphone, you want to hang out here.
We'll give you a call for sure, man.
Right
And
on.
you can do your own fucking show if you want.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We've been bringing some stuff from back home. We got some good bands. Fucking good shit.
I
back
always
home.
ask, okay, let me do this.
Yeah.
Okay, I do have a segment on my show. It's called Show Some Love. Every single time, anytime that I am promoting a band on the show, I want them to tell me who I should listen to, who I should check out. What are some bands you guys have been touring with? Who are some great bands that need
Right
some
now, I'd say something that's like super. I've been meeting a lot of people. My daughter's out traveling, hopping trains across the country right now. We did a couple of shows with Leftover Crack there a few months back there and stuff. Leftover Crack, very political. Like you listen to their albums, it's all burn it down, smash it up, all of this sort of stuff. I go and watch these guys play. Them in Days and Days. I watch these guys play. There's not a negative thing in their trip. It is the most uplifting. It is the weirdest performance I've ever seen. Their singer exposes himself to the audience. He talks for 5 minutes in between songs. He exposes all of his vulnerabilities and everything. And by halfway through the set, everybody in the place feels like they're his best friend. He's so real and human. And the backup band that he had, like Leftover, they're awesome dudes. The Days and Days guys are these young street punks, travelers, playing awesome, cool bluegrass. It's kind of the cutting edge of punk these days. Eh? There's just the kids out traveling around with acoustic guitars and shit, singing songs that have these incredible stories of misadventure and everything like this.
Yeah.
Awesome songs. And some of the most beautiful, accepting people I've ever seen, ever met in my life. Eh? And check those guys out. Check out Escape the Zoo. Sick band. Really good mix of that stuff. Back home, we got lots of good bands. The Frostbacks, the Bark plays in there.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
You know, I'll you get my email, send them my way. I'll play their music on the station. Dutchie
Yeah,
will
for
play.
sure. For sure,
Dutchie
I'll
will
send
play
you.
them. We'll promote all that. You're talking about Leftover Crack. I was in.
I'll grab you a CD from the guys that are like a couple other bands back home, and my other band, this sort of we call ourselves Stinkhorn, after the mushroom, the Stinkhorn mushroom, that also known as the lewd phallus,
The lewd
devil's
phallus.
dingus. You know, it looks like a cock that grows out of the ground, smells like a dead cow, attracts flies to it. It's like awesome. Anyways, the band we're like billing ourselves as the anal cunt of classic rock. So we're like playing old Black Sabbath riffs and shit like that. But the drummer of our band, he's got another band called the Narnars, which are a punk band. Big fans. They're trying to outdo the Dayglos is what they're trying to do. They're trying to make poop sexy and stuff like this. These guys are wacko. Some of the funniest shit going there. He's kind of got a Screaming Jay Hawkins thing going on. He's an awesome front man.
Yeah, he's a stand-up comedian. That
and
guy, he's
just
hilarious.
sings up a storm. I'll give you one of their CDs. I got a bunch of them out in the car there. I was
that'd be right- that'd be
supposed
right.
to give them away for those guys to promote them, and I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to.
Well, no, you're at a
Yeah,
radio
now I'm
station
actually
now.
doing it. Now
Yeah.
I'm doing it for legit, so I can
Yeah.
look in the eye and go, no, I didn't pawn them all off. I pawned off half of them. Or,
It's better. You don't have to give them out to
Yeah.
people now. We'll
right.
play them so thousands of
I'll
people
give you
hear
a
them.
couple. I'll give you a couple of them. too,
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Spring-
I play in like 4 or 5 other bands.
We don't want to
out there
hear about
too,
your
so-
stupid bands, Mark.
Oh man, picking on the blind guy again. God damn it.
Yeah, I got a band that I've been in for a long time called the Keg Killers.
Keg Killers.
Another band with actually one of Murray's old buddies, Scott Henderson.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's the Skid
a
Marxist.
skid Marxist. And so we actually just played at this
They're
big
fucking
show
awesome,
like
actually.
last
Yeah.
the week before we left for this tour. We played. There was like this girl up in Victoria made this punk rock movie about Victoria.
Documentary about
Documentary about Victoria. So we had,
All right.
so we had the movie, and then a bunch of bands played, and yeah, that was our
Let's not
first
tell them
show.
about my little reenactment of everything bad that's ever happened to everybody on Earth. And I
Yeah,
I
Murray did
another
a little
social
solo set at
accident
the
like
beginning.
I'm so good at.
But no, it was good. Yeah. So we all play in like Dayglows is our band that we tour and do all this shit. But we all You know,
We were all
back
in, like,
then we all
God,
played
that
in a
was
bunch of other
18
bands.
fucking
And,
bands at once. Eh?
yeah, like where we
I'm in
where we
3,
live in
Will's
Victoria.
In what, 4, 3, something like that. You're in 4.
Yeah, it's
so
all kind of like an inbred scene. We all play in bands together and shit.
An
You know,
inbred scene. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, look, the other thing too, I love this. This is what I strive for is the in studio experience with the band. So I'm so grateful and lucky that you guys were able to be on tour and being here. But if you guys are in Canada and you guys have bands that can't come down here and be in studio, we have the phone lines, so we can.
So you can look
Yeah.
you guys up when I get home.
Yeah,
and
we
stuff
can
like that.
do a phone in interview,
Yeah, for
and if
sure.
you can't make a Sunday show, you can do Dutchie's show. We all it's all about support, dude. So
Yeah, for sure.
I love that, dude. Yeah, so
And
stay
it's
content.
funny, Ryan. I was just, I do the same kind of show as this on a Tuesday, and I'm texting backwards and forwards with my girl who's just fucking loving what you're doing. I said, dude, this is the fucking perfect interview. I said, we do bands every week, and I try and get real life fucking stories of being on the road and just fucking life in punk. And some of them, they don't have any fucking stories. They're boring as fuck. It's like, fuck off.
He always tells it like it is.
Right,
Yeah.
and dude, listening to you guys, it's so fucking genuine. It's so real. There's so much love for what you do. I mean,
Well,
when you
dude,
when you said I would rather be on fucking shithole hotel every night doing this shit,
Fucking right. I mean, well, the best thing about being a musician is not being a fucking, what they think kids do. I'm going to be a rock star. The best thing is you get to travel around the world.
Yeah,
And
meet
every
people.
city you go to, they're happy to have you. Like to walk into a place
Yeah.
and have everybody super happy that you're coming there is a pretty good feeling to start with. Then you get to see every town from the locals' point of view. You're walking
exactly.
as a tourist.
Yeah.
You're taken to the locals' favorite watering hole, to all of this. You get to see it from their point of view. You do this 2 or 3 times, and you're not even coming to a new town. Now you're just going around visiting your friends, drinking all of their booze.
exactly.
So it's a great thing, I mean,
Yeah, like we got friends all over the world that are just friends that we see like once every 5 years, but they're like, it's like every time you see them, it's like, holy shit, it's like, didn't I see you yesterday, It's like,
and that's what it is all about, and that's the big difference between punk and metal and every
oh,
other
it's the
genre.
Giant
Fuck.
extended family we got. going.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's all it is, and you know what?
Yeah.
My kids can travel. As I said, my kid's traveling. People that she's never met will take her in and put her up, and like she can go into a whole community and stuff like this,
Yeah.
and she'll be accepted as part of the community because it's her family, and it's awesome. And I just would like to see a world where my kids could wander the earth, adding to their little bit to it, and to be fucking able to be accepted everywhere they go,
Right.
And come on by to my town. Doors are wide open, I cook you a home cooked meal, everything like that. We'll sit around and jam all night long, tell poo-poo jokes, and till our fucking sides hurt, and our faces are broken and stuff.
That's rad, and Dutchie, listen, brother. Dutchie and I talk all the time because this is what we do. Dutchie is the reason why this station's still around. It's not easy doing this stuff. We try to support the music scene. We love it, and I was talking to you outside, brother, and we were talking about meeting your idols, and the difference is, and I use the metal thing. I mean, it isn't.
Yeah, you're kind of doing some, what do you call that, social stereotyping here, maybe possibly. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Well, it doesn't.
But I see what you mean. I know what you mean.
It doesn't matter.
It's the world of rock stars.
Exactly.
The world doesn't need any more of that. We don't need another Motley Crue fucking raping chicks and fucking wrecking hotel rooms and shit.
We need punk rockers that will come here where we all, our family, you can stay at our house, you can stay at the studio,
Exactly, yeah.
we can play shows,
Hey,
book shows.
And
together.
they'll let us stay at theirs as well.
Exactly.
And when
right,
they see us at a show, they'll come and have a beer with us, and they remember who the fuck we are, and it's unreal, unfucking real.
When you guys come back, I'm going to play a show with you guys, I promise you. I'm going to work on the booking thing too. Dutchie's going to be there, I promise you. And look, and one last story. So my beautiful wife, who I've been married to for almost a decade now, she's a great mom. We've got 3 foster kids. She's tattooed and beautiful. I love my wife to death. We got married on Friday the 13th because I'm a big horror movie
Right,
fan.
you said it was your anniversary.
Yeah. So we are, and check this out, Dutchie. This is what I love. And again, it goes back to my sensibilities, right? Friday the 13th comes rolling around, and it's the first time that it's in October, so it's a big thing. And she's like, "What are we gonna do for our anniversary?" And I'm like, "The Dayglo Abortions are playing in fucking Pomona. That's where we're going, bitch." I didn't say that to her. I
Yeah,
didn't,
thank fucking God.
yeah,
Bitch slap.
yeah,
Right.
mine is the bitch part, but I said that's what we're doing, and she loves punk rock, right? So she was like, yeah. But the funniest part was when I showed up for my again, I've got kids, I've got a day job, which sucks. I love the company I work for, but I manage this a pest control company. I mean, I'm an exterminator, and I show up to work that morning, and the HR lady's looking at me, and she's like, and she's uber Christian, like super Christian. So I love fucking with her all the goddamn time. It's the best. She's looking at me. She's like, Ryan, why are you here? And why aren't you? She knows it's my wedding anniversary. She's like, why are you here? Why aren't you doing your wedding anniversary? I said, we are going to do the wedding anniversary. I'm going to go get tacos with my wife, and then we're going to go see the motherfucking dayglo abortions.
Did you invite her?
No. But the best part was she was so offended. She's like, "You're going to see the dayglo abortions? Oh my God!"
That's that band that does Art Fuck Kill. I've listened to them before, and they're absolutely.
She's like, I'm going to pray for you, Ryan. I'm like, no, and it's the funniest thing for me. Because they don't understand like how cool the people are. You get offended by the dumbest shit, a band name, the dayglo abortions. It's funny as hell to me. I mean, Dwayne.
And it's also just a stupid name anyway. So what the fuck?
Exactly, right. And see, I've said this on the show too. That's what made me gravitate towards this band. When I talk about band names, I think my favorite band name was Dwayne Peters' old band, the Exploding Fuck Dolls.
Yeah, we played my other band, the Keg Killers. We opened up for those guys. Like
Nice.
15 years. Yeah, that's Art and Steve Godoy, old skater guys. buddies of ours.
Yeah, Dwayne Peters from the U.S. Bombs and Dwayne
yeah.
Peters' Gunfight. But there's like in San Diego when you guys go down there was a band there called the Latter-day Satans, and they were
That's awesome.
That's right.
I was in a band for a little while from Vancouver called the Neo Nasties.
nice.
And the Neo Nasties, in their infinite wisdom before I joined, put out their record. They called it White Powder. And it's got like a picture of a couple of rails on a mirror done in lightning bolts like this. And I was just like, you guys are pushing it. Everybody goes, I can't believe you're playing with those neo-Nazi fuckers. And I said, they're not the Nazis, they're the nasties, you idiot. I mean, yeah, there's some fucking.
When
good
you
ones.
gave,
I like Slam Whitman. How's that for a good name?
That's
For a
good.
punk?
That's
That's
good.
an old
I
band
like-
from Ohio, actually.
I love
Slam
that.
Whitman.
when you mentioned the bands and you were saying give some love, one of the bands you mentioned was the band about the zoo. What was it called?
Escape the Zoo. Yeah,
Escape the Zoo. And my girl went, oh my God, I fucking saw them in Omaha.
They are so good, eh?
Yeah?
They're fucking great, man. And, geez, I just get an anxiety attack watching Jesse sing. He puts more syllables per minute than anybody I've ever seen. Hey, it's like just... And he plays that fast bluegrass shit, so he's playing really fast, and the syllables are going like this. I'm just going, breathe. Oh, my God, please breathe. Shit like this. Super nice people, too. I mean, they were my daughter... Days and Days was my daughter's favorite band. When they came up to Vancouver, we played with them in Vancouver. They were the backup band for Leftover Crack. They stayed at her house. They stayed up with her all night long. They jammed me all night long. They fucking sang songs. She traded her sweater with the fucking other broad that sings in the band there. I mean, and it was just, I mean, I was so happy. I mean, whatever, you treat my kids good, you treat everything. Welcome to my fucking family and shit. Then we just ran into them a little while ago, and it's all family, everywhere we go.
Well, you're our family now, man. And
Awesome.
Dude, God, I love.
Always room for the expanding.
So
family,
fucking happy. Dutchy, man. God damn it. The best fucking Black Lung show ever. I'm saying that. I've had a lot of great fucking bands. But my fucking heroes, one of the bands that inspired me to play punk rock is in fucking studio all the way from fucking Canada. The dayglo abortions, I'm going to play with you guys. I swear to God. Bucket list. I'm making that shit
holding
happen.
you to it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Do you
And
have a song lined up to play out, or do you want me to play one?
I want you. I want the band. Okay, let's play something off the new album. You tell me what song off the new album you want to play to go out with.
Okay. How about To Prove That We Are Free?
To prove that we are free. You got that up there, Dutchy?
Yeah, I got it.
You've been listening to the Black Lung Show. Again, thanks, Dutchy, my brother, my one of my best friends in the world. I love this guy for helping me do this. Thanks for everybody listening. Thanks for all the bands that I'm stumbling over. Thank
Thanks
you
for
to
the
the
afternoon, the good food, man. I'm gonna steal
Yeah,
a
for
plate
sure,
of it
man.
the
before
dayglo
we go.
motherfucking abortions of the Black Lung Show.
Cheers.
Radio!
they're sick of the lies they've been fed for their whole lives. I hear the cry for revolution. Is that really the solution? Replace corrupt politicians with mercenaries armed with machine guns. We have to remember what happened before. The system we have right now started with a civil war. Can't blame the dictators for dictating, just put them in power. It's not them that's gotta change, baby, it's us. No matter what the penalty, there's a law we will break it, just to prove to ourselves that we are free. No matter what the penalty, if there's a law we will break it, just to prove to ourselves that we are free. I've seen the multi-death corporations rape our earth to make their bombs and guns. They use food as a weapon. They use our money to control us. I don't know if I've got a solution to these problems. There's one thing I can tell you. We don't need to replace the government. We need to get rid of the government. No matter what the penalty, there's a law we will break it, just to prove to ourselves that we are free. No matter what the penalty, there's a law we will break it, just to prove to ourselves that we are free. Let's go do the shit. Dispose of the metaphor. Speak in simple truths, using one syllable words. Not notarized declarations, full of half-baked expectations, loaded with accusation and dripping with condemnation. I call bullshit. I ain't gonna listen to it. Don't treat me like an idiot, or I'll just fuck his face. Simple truth, using one syllable words. I call bullshit. I ain't gonna listen to it. Don't treat me like an idiot, or I'll just fuck its flag. Freedom of choice is under attack. The red-banded Nazis, you better fight back. DC retards get their our secret societies. Freedom of choice is under attack from left-handed Nazis who better fight back. They're over here, they're over there. Got their greedy little fingers getting in everywhere. They're getting in my hair. Stephen Armour, Commodore, sold out your country, but you want more. Stephen Armour, you eat my shit. You're just a cowboy for the global elite. Racist agenda. Backroom deals. You continually betray your own religion's beliefs. Stephen Armour, corporate whore, sold out your country, but you want more. Stephen Armour, you eat their shit. You're just a cowboy for the global elite. What's worse than that? He even jammed with Nickelback. And he's lucky you get to lick Evelyn Rothschild's crack. Fucking corporate pansy. Stephen Armour, you corporate whore, sold out your country, but you want more. Stephen Armour, you eat their shit. You're just a cowboy for the global elite. Die, motherfucker! They're over here, they're over there. Got their greedy little fingers getting in everywhere. They're getting in my hair. Stephen Armour, Commodore, sold out your country, but you want more. Stephen Armour, you eat my shit. You're just a cowboy for the global elite. Racist agenda. Backroom deals. You continually betray your own religion's beliefs. Stephen Armour, corporate whore, sold out your country, but you want more. Stephen Armour, you eat their shit. You're just a cowboy for the global elite. What's worse than that? He even jammed with Nickelback. And he's lucky you get to lick Evelyn Rothschild's crack. Fucking corporate pansy. Stephen Armour, you corporate whore, sold out your country, but you want more. Stephen Armour, you eat their shit. You're just a cowboy for the global elite. Die, motherfucker!